six to break down the defense.
Hello and welcome to Danville, Indiana, Hendricks County, our home for Week 2 of the 2018 IHSAA football season. The ISC Sports Network proud to be here on behalf of Endeavor Communications for what promises to be an entertaining matchup. The Danville Warriors take on the Mooresville Pioneers. Jeremiah Johnson, honored to be with you, joined by Mike Walensky. Mike, we saw some surprises around the state in Week 1. Two teams maybe with some eye-opening results are on the field tonight.
You know, Jeremiah, when I think about surprises, I think of Mayberry Cafe here in Danville. And I think of the late Jim Neighbors, because you know what he used to say? He used to say, surprise, surprise, surprise. And frankly, when you think about it, there have been some surprises. Think of this. Danville coming off of a semi-state loss to Evansville Memorial last year, 28-7. Who would have suspected in their first game that they would take a last-second loss to Cascade, 28-21? And then Mooresville, a team led by Mike Gillen, a veteran coach in his 40th year. Who would have thought that Mooresville, who had been dominated last year by Lebanon, and of course dominated by this same Danville club at Lucas Oil, 59-17, would travel to Lebanon and knock off the Tigers 46-7. So we've got a lot of surprises.
Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Endeavor Communications. Discover how you can save money by bundling your Endeavor services by calling 1-800-922-6677. Time for tonight's players to watch. We expect some high profile, some prolific offensive attacks, but we're going to show one quarterback, one running back. Who are your players to watch, Mike?
Well, Carson Goodman is a young man that Mike Gillen feels very strongly about. Last year he played in 7 games, and this year he had a fantastic football game, an opener at Lebanon with 257 yards passing, as you see, with 3 touchdowns. On the other side, Alex Skinner is a two-way player for the Danville Warriors, had 2 touchdowns running, 27 carries, 112 yards, but he's also a very active linebacker. And for Casey Woods and his Warriors, he'll be called upon to do great things on both sides of the football tonight.
Time for tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by eTex. Endeavor eTex can help you with all of your computer and technology needs. Available to Endeavor members and the public. Call 1-800-922-6677 or visit weendeavor.com. Quickly, your keys before kickoff.
Well, Jeremiah, I tell you, Casey Woods has a very young football team. And Ben Slayton is an outstanding passer. He's a very good one, but he had a slow start, 10 for 21. They've got to put pressure on the quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks will throw, and if one of the teams should stop the run, they'll have a chance to win this ball game. And of course, in tonight's ball game, whoever wins the trenches offensively and defensively is going to have a chance to win this one.
It is a windy night here at Warriors Stadium. Both teams do like to pass. We'll see if that affects the passing offense. It looks like Danville has won the toss. They have elected to receive. More on that and an unusual streak related to Mooresville after the kickoff. But Danville, once again, they will receive. Braden Evans is their top return man. Looking forward to an outstanding night. Week 2 of high school football. It's Mooresville and Danville, and we are underway. The kick is in the air, and it is retrieved into the end zone. So we have a touchback to start things off. Danville will take over 1st and 10 from the 20.
And Jeremiah, that's been a strength so far, is the special teams play for the Mooresville Pioneers, to be able to drill the football into the end zone. On the other hand, Danville averages about 43 yards per kick, so you have to suspect that John Eineman, who is a Division I prospect for Mooresville, might be a big playmaker in today's game. But now Ben Slayton has a chance to really turn things for the Warriors.
Ben Slayton, 6'2", 210 pounds last week. 10 for 21, 105 yards, has experience as a quarterback previously at Plainfield. And the first play from scrimmage will be a handoff to Alex Skinner. Breaking it outside, looks like he will pick up about 4 on the play. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup and the starters on offense. They'll run the no huddle. It'll be difficult to get this in, but you see it. 7 seniors, 3 juniors, and 1 freshman in the starting 11 for Danville. Play clock is down to 25 as Ben Slayton looks over to the other side of the screen. After this play, we'll show you that Mooresville defense. Once again, Ben Slayton has Alex Skinner in the backfield along with 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. It'll hand off once again to Skinner, setting up what will be a first down opportunity. So 2 carries on the ground and a first down for Danville.
Great job for Danville running off the left side. Now right guard Caleb Marr, number 72, who's a 280-pounder. We're going to watch him up front. He's a good one, but the linebackers are really good for Mooresville. Diop in the middle. He's one of the best in the state.
And for the third straight play, it's a handoff to Skinner. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. He picks up about 4. Nice yardage on first down. Let's take a quick look at that Danville, or I should say that Mooresville defense, much improved from a season ago on defense. Mooresville, 7 seniors, 4 juniors in that starting lineup. Braden Evans had 78 tackles last year. Also, keep an eye on junior linebacker Camden Schmidt. Certainly worth watching that Mooresville defense. We've got a penalty flag just a little too early. That was Adrian Jopp. You mentioned him. He's a 6'2", 6 foot, 236-pound senior. He was going in on the blitz.
Yeah, and the kid can play. He's really active. Their linebackers are really good. Now, for Danville, they got off to such a slow start in last week's game, and the one thing that was very critical that Casey Woods talked about, so many penalties, so many offensive bursts and big play opportunities that were turned back because of penalties, and that generally can happen during a first game. It can also happen because you're really young.
So it'll be first down Danville at their own 42-yard line. Just a minute and a half into play, and a good start for the Warriors after that disappointing loss in the season opener, but that play going nowhere. So the fourth carry for Skinner, and this time he is met at the line of scrimmage, stopped by a host of Mooresville Pioneers.
And it will be a physical game tonight, and the key for both these ball clubs is hydration and the ability to withstand the pressure and the pounding up front, because both these teams have a lot of kids that will go both ways tonight.
Chandler Schubert, number 6, is in the backfield. He gets the carry on second down. Skinner gets a quick break after carrying the ball 4 times to start this game. Schubert had 6 touchdowns a season ago. Last year, 136 rushes, 983 yards. So they've got a lot of experience in the backfield, but Danville has a number of key losses, some key playmakers to replace from last season.
No doubt, and one of them is Alec Burton, a tight end who's now at Ohio University playing for Frank Solich. I made mention off air, I'm not quite sure if I saw a better basketball player than Alec Burton last year, a tremendous two-sport player.
Alec Burton, we were here last season for a thrilling win against Western Boone. Danville was undefeated in the regular season and lost in the semi-state. That third down pass falls incomplete, setting up an interesting decision for Casey Woods. He's at the 45-yard line, going to be 4th down and 7. Looks like he's going to send the punt unit onto the field.
And that pass was intended for Mark Broderick. And, JJ, some of the situations have occurred this year because you got a new quarterback and you got some new receivers. They're still trying to work out some of the kinks here. And, again, we talked about special teams. Mooresville can make things happen. They have some outstanding athletes. Danville's going to have to protect here.
Punting for Danville will be Ben Slayton, the quarterback, so he can throw it. He runs to the side, little rugby-style kick, not a deep kick. Will take a bounce, stop at about the 32-yard line where Mooresville will take over. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the NCAA Hall of Champions, located in beautiful White River State Park in downtown Indianapolis. Experience all 24 NCAA sports at the NCAA Hall of Champions with its 2 floors of interactive exhibits. You can shoot some hoops, kick a field goal, test your vertical jump, and much more. Plan your visit at NCAAchampions.org. The Mooresville Pioneers, what a game they had last week at Lebanon. Tough schedule. The first 3 weeks of the season on the road and 4 of their first 5 games, but it did not matter last week. Carson Goodman, what a quarterback he is. He comes out firing on the first play. Let's take a look at that Mooresville starting lineup. 5 seniors, 5 juniors, and 1 sophomore, and they've got a couple of names to remember. Carson Goodman took over at quarterback in the middle of last season. 7 games, threw for 2,440 yards, and as you mentioned, John Heineman, he's a Division I potential recruit.
Well, Danville matches up pretty good up front. The question is, can you lock in on Heineman there, who's flanked out wide to the right side? Goodman, an outstanding passer. He's due to set all sorts of records at Mooresville High School.
You've got Heineman top of your screen, Braden Edwards in the slot. The handoff goes to James Mabry Jr., and he finds a crease. He's out for first down yardage, or very close to first down yardage. Yes, it looks like 11 yards on the carry. First down, Mooresville, as the chains are reset. Mike, how about we take a look at that Danville defense? A disappointing end to last week's game against Cascade. They were ahead 21-20 with about a minute and a half to play, and that Danville defense allowed Cascade to march down the field. This is going to be an angry group of Warriors.
It will be an angry group of Warriors because I know the coaches were not happy about the outcome. But again, they've got a great task at hand because Mooresville is an outstanding offensive team. Look for Wooten, the free safety, to be a real factor here in the run game, number 23.
James Mabry Jr. says not a factor on this play. It's a second straight carry for first down yardage. Mabry, 5'9", 170. He's a senior. We call him James Mabry Jr., but he's actually a senior, and James Mabry has put Mooresville into Danville territory.
What puts pressure on the defense is the fact that these running backs, Mabry, one of them at 112 yards rushing, he can also catch the ball out of the backfield. So Goodman has at least 4 or 5 guys he can throw the football to.
Carson Goodman, the senior, short drop, quick pass up to Blake Garrett. It falls incomplete. Good coverage for Danville by number 14, Zane Thomas, 6'1", 185-pound senior, setting up second down and 10. Even though those two running plays worked, you know Coach Gillen, he's going to put the ball back in the air pretty frequently, if not 50. It's probably not going to be 50-50. It's more like 60-40. Favoring the pass.
I think so, and I think they're going to make these guys from Danville run from sideline to sideline. That was a perfect toss from Goodman. Unfortunately, the receiver heard footsteps and dropped the football just before contact.
Second and 10. That handoff does go to John Mabry Jr. Picks up about 6. So you got to give a lot of credit to that Mooresville offensive line. The senior, Alex LaPlante, he's a senior. He's the only senior, though, among the starters on the offensive line. That's good optimism for the future for Mooresville.
I tell you, Alex LaPlante, that senior, number 79, who's playing in the middle, had a nice block there, and they're also getting good blocking on the right side as they're moving the chains. This is fourth down territory. There's no doubt about that, but I suspect Mooresville might go play action here and throw the ball up deep.
Third down and 4, I would agree, 4 down territory, but do they need that fourth down conversion? You throw to Eineman when he's wide open like that, no fourth down play necessary. Eineman, what a target. You give him that little cushion, it's almost automatic.
Well, Carson Waddell gave him plenty of space there, playing a soft zone, and Eineman, that size and that length and that speed, he's got great hands. He looked in the football very nicely and turned, and he had some help. He's a guy that they have to contend with all night long. That's what makes Mooresville such a good team this year. They're very dynamic with balance.
Third first down of this drive, the first achieved through the air. First down and 10 now from the 24. They'll hand it to Mabry Jr., and he might go all the way. Needs one more block. Is taken down at the 3-yard line. What an impressive drive this is turning out to be for Mooresville.
Little trap play by the Mooresville Pioneers, and there goes the senior Mabry down the left side for a big gainer and a first down. And they are marching at the door, and good news for Mike Gillen's ball club. Gillen, who's had some great stops along the way at both Indian Creek, close here to Tri-West, a big rival of Danville. He did a nice job at Decatur Central. His son Casey now is the offensive coordinator for the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds.
So it'll be first and goal from the 3. That pickup of 20 for John Mabry Jr., James Mabry Jr., I should say. Outstanding drive, and getting the carry, you let Mabry finish it off. Touchdown, Mooresville Pioneers, as they score first here at Warrior Stadium.
Mooresville did a nice job of splits, the spacing between the offensive linemen, allowing Mabry to see the gap and see the hole and run through the right side for the touchdown. As he crossed the plane, JJ, he actually fumbled the football, but he had still crossed the plane for the touchdown, and the Pioneers once again on a roll offensively.
5 rushes, 3 passes on that drive for Mooresville. Not Mike Gillen-like, but he likes what he achieved in that opening drive as they try to convert on the extra point. Christian Swigert, it is up, and it is good. So 7:16 on the clock here in the first quarter. The visiting Mooresville Pioneers take a 7-0 lead. We're back with much more right after this on the ISC Sports Network.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click WeEndeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Back at Warrior Stadium just in time for the kickoff after a Mooresville touchdown, and for the second time this quarter, it's a touchback. Impressive job by Christian Swigert, having Danville to start at the 20-yard line. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Greg Hubler Chevy. Every new vehicle purchase comes with our exclusive Greg Hubler promise. Visit GregHublerChevy.com for more information. And you see John Mabry Jr., of course, he was the workhorse on that first drive for Mooresville. He also playing defense. Mooresville has a number of players who will play both ways. Danville has some as well. You see good numbers by just looking at the sidelines, but your best players, they've got to be on the field.
They've got to be on the field, especially at this level in 3A with Danville. Now, Mooresville's a 4A team. They may consider a platoon because 4A schools have a little bit more to choose from as, again, trying to test the corner, test the edge early on running the football for the Warriors.
So once again, let's reference Ben Slayton. He was a talented quarterback at Plainfield. This will be his first season, his senior year for Danville. And it's the third year for Casey Woods at Danville, and the third different year he's had a new quarterback, but he's had a lot of good ones. He's had a couple of good ones, and Toby Highland was excellent a season ago as he led them to that 13-1 record.
One thing about Toby Highland I was impressed by looking at film and actually watching him play basketball, the kid was tough. He was physically and mentally tough, and you need to have those kind of kids.
All right, so Slayton keeps that one. Looked like it was supposed to be a little bit of a fake handoff, but not a good fake when the running back, it looked like he might have even gone behind the quarterback, so it wasn't a true fake, and Slayton is brought down for a short gain. Right now, 3rd down and about 7.
Well, when you can get ahead of the chains and you're a throwing football team, you have an opportunity to open up the field. And this will be a challenge for Danville to be able to create that offensive movement on the running game. And Mooresville, I can tell you right now, they're going to blitz from the outside. There's going to be a numbers opportunity here for the Pioneers getting to the quarterback.
The numbers at the top of the screen, one receiver at the bottom, and that is a completion. Connor Jones, the senior, number 1. Connor Jones had 2 receptions for 25 yards last week. That's a key first down and moves the chains and kind of stops that Mooresville momentum.
It does, and Connor Jones, much like Eineman, is long, he's lengthy, he's a good athlete, an outstanding basketball player, probably the best scorer on the Warriors semi-state team last year at guard, an outstanding player for Coach
Must have seen
Barber's
a few
club.
Danville basketball games last season. You got all the basketball guys figured out. Danville had a really great all-around athletic year last year, and once again, almost heartbreaking loss in that semi-state to Evansville Memorial, 28-7. But an outstanding season, really one of the best in school history, 13-1. And when you graduate guys like Alec Burton, we haven't even referenced Ben Stevens, Zach Lucan, it's going to be difficult to immediately pick up where you left off.
Yeah, and I think Casey Woods recognizes that. The coach, who was a former assistant at Pike and Marion University, an outstanding head coach at Clinton Prairie, he recognizes that. He knows that this is a work in progress, and the beauty of high school football in Indiana, hey, you can lose every game in the regular season. You get to the tournament, it's a whole different ball game.
It's only August 24th, so a long time until October in playoff football. The fake handoff, nice pass is complete to Zane Thomas, also a senior, and that's what you like to see. The offense is moving a little quicker. The ball's out of Slayton's hands, and he's mixing it around. He's got a lot of weapons. It's just a little bit of inexperience in those weapons.
And both ball clubs are allowing their quarterback to take 2 or 3 drops because they're concerned about protection. And as you mentioned, Slayton doing a real good job, as is Goodman, getting the football out of his hands, high percentage passes, trying to move the chains, get to that first down marker.
3rd down and 5 from the 37. Slayton surveying the defense. Quick throw, top of the screen, incomplete. Great defense by who else? Number 24, James Mabry Jr., but we have a penalty flag on the play. I thought it looked like good defense. Let's wait and see what the referees have to say.
There might be a concern that Mabry could have been face guarding down the line, but nevertheless, The officials are taking their time, and they probably are a lot like football players at the beginning of the year. They're feeling themselves out as well.
Just a little bit. We'd like to give a shout out to this officiating crew. Referee Scott Fisher, back judge Eric Sessions, umpire Ross Hayden, head linesman Russ McCormick, and Bruce Talbot, the line judge. We have a personal foul. That'll go against James Mabry Jr. It does look to be 15-yard penalty. First down, Danville.
Well, Mabry was tracking the receiver downfield, Mark Broderick, and he was face guarding. If he would have turned his head around, probably not a flag, but they're going to flag him up, and there'll be a big first down. That is a huge break for Danville because obviously the momentum was going the Pioneers' way here.
And without seeing the replay, I guess not for certain that it was on Mabry. It could have been someone over with a helmet-to-helmet contact or a late hit. All I know is the Mooresville Pioneers do not like the call, and it does give Danville a first down. First down at the 47-yard line. First time for Danville in Mooresville territory. Sladen operating almost exclusively out of the shotgun. This time, hands off. Fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, lowers his shoulder, picks up about 4. So Slayton, 6'2", 210. If he does decide to carry it, he's got some muscle, he's got some weight, but you don't want to put your quarterback in harm's way too often. He took a shot right there.
He did. Bounced right off the linebacker on the inside, showing some skill. Now, Mooresville, as we see, has a 4-man front. They're playing a 4-2-5 defense, and they're saying to the Danville Warriors, run the football. We're going to give you the run, and we're going to protect against the pass here. 3
receivers are at the bottom of the screen. The handoff does go to Chandler Schubert. Schubert still moving those feet, big time run. It was started on the 44, gets to the 26, 27-yard line, so an impressive run. Nice 1-2 punch in that backfield, Alex Skinner, and that player, Chandler Schubert.
Nice job because, again, we talked about Mooresville, just 4 men on the line of scrimmage. You can run against that formation. Good blocking up front. As you mentioned, Schubert spinning those legs, moving forward, and getting the first down.
First and 10 from the 27. They'll give to Schubert once again. That Danville offensive line, we've yet to give those guys a shout-out, but if you take a look at their center, right guard, and right tackle, Tristan Whitcomb, Caleb Marr, and Jackson Douglas, they're all seniors. They're all 3-year starters. If you need a few yards, you're going to go to the right side of the Danville line.
Yep, there's no question about it, but the concern, I think, for the coaches is as the game wears on, they're going to get tired. They're going to get a little bit higher up in their stance. They've got to keep the pads low to move that line of scrimmage forward. That could be a challenge for both these ball clubs.
Slayton barked out a couple of signals, then looked towards the sideline where they'd maybe adjust the play, and Schubert's kind of going from one side to the other in the backfield. That time it is a handoff to Schubert, and once again, he squirts through the line. Sometimes he's so small, almost Barry Sanders-esque, you don't see him, and then all of a sudden he's 5 yards downfield.
And, JJ, he's not going to get much credit, but the center there, number 67, Tristan Whitcomb, who's a senior at 5'11", 235, he's calling out the line calls. He's the most important and most viable player right now on the football field.
3rd down and 2, a long 2 from the 20-yard line. Slayton knows he's got an option in Schubert. Schubert's done a really good job on this drive. Once again, last year, just 17 yards shy of 1,000. He rushed for 983. He gets the handoff on 3rd and 2, and can he get the first down? He has enough yardage, but with that penalty flag in the backfield, you think a hold might be on its way.
I think so. I think Jackson Douglas, number 59, the right tackle, had the linebacker wrapped up with his hands, and I think the official caught him right at the point of attack there.
So one penalty key to helping Danville extend this drive, and now a penalty the other way could be halting the drive for the Danville Warriors. They had some issues last year with their kicking game. I did not get a chance to ask Casey Wood specifically about his kicking game, but I don't think they're in field goal range right now, so they're going to need to maybe treat this as you got 2 plays to pick up 12.
In fact, they have not attempted a field goal this year, and the PAT guy is, I believe, 1 out of 3 or something along those lines. So yeah, this is a 2-down situation here for Danville. But with Slayton throwing the football and tossing around, good things can happen for the Warriors. Mooresville really loading up the line of scrimmage now.
Slayton looks to his left, then rolls left, throws back right, and it's caught. Impressive play, great execution, and great concentration. That's Connor Jones. We saw him early in the drive, and he gets a first down for the Warriors.
And a great job by Schubert, number 6 in the backfield for the Warriors, picking up the blitz. If not for Schubert, Slayton doesn't have time to step up and throw that ball, and he drilled that right in the hole to Jones.
One of those plays where you have 3 receivers at the top of the screen, you kind of roll left, everyone's thinking that direction, and then you're one-on-one coverage, and that one, number 1, won the battle, Connor Jones. First and 10 now from the 12. Mooresville moving the defenders around just a little bit. Handoff, safe handoff to Schubert. Trying to pick up a couple as Danville, I think, maybe uses that play to set up the next play. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Again, Mooresville is giving up the run, but they did a really nice job of filling the hole there. The linebackers were really quick to the football there as Danville just got a couple yards there on 1st down.
It is a windy night. Now, we haven't seen a number of deep passes, those short passes not seemingly affected by the wind, but keep an eye on the wind throughout the course of this night. Under 1 minute to play here in the first quarter. Danville trying to tie things up, and again they hand the ball to Schubert. Again he picks up 3 or 4. It'll set up a difficult maybe 3rd down and 6 from the 9-yard line. You've got a number of options here if you're Casey Woods. You're trying to figure out exactly what to call.
I tell you, Adrian Diop, that linebacker in the middle, came up with a huge play there. Came off of a block and then just stuffed that trap play on the inside for the Mooresville Pioneers. That is the strength of their ball club, right up the middle. Those linebackers very active.
This could be the final play of the first quarter. Ball is in the air to the corner of the end zone, and it falls incomplete. Pass was intended for Mark Broderick. 2 seconds officially on the clock, so we'll have 4th down and no extra time for Casey Woods to think about a play call because the clock does stop on that incomplete pass. They can get a first down. The first down marker is about the 2-yard line, so it's 4th down and 7 from the 9.
I think this time they run Broderick on a slant there. I thought he had Evans beat in the corner, but the ball was just thrown a little bit too long because Evans had his back turned completely to the football.
So it's an important play in this game, so important that Mike Gillen uses one of his timeouts. The defense calling it 4th down and 7. Last week, Mooresville got off to a fantastic start that really set the tone for that win. They led Lebanon 19-0 at the end of the first quarter. It was 19-7 at halftime. And then I talked with Coach Gillen before the game. It was that response in the third quarter. Lebanon had the ball first at 19-7. He said if they march down the field and score, it's a one-possession game. It's anybody's game. We stopped them. Mooresville had 14 points in that third quarter, and it's a blowout no one saw coming, 46-7. If they can come to Danville and lead this game 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, it might be as big as 19-0 against Lebanon.
There's no question about it because Lebanon is not an easy place to play. I've had the experience of watching a few teams play at Lebanon over the years that have been extremely high rated, and the Tigers always make a good stand. They get great turnout, and this kind of shows you the kind of versatility that this Mooresville Pioneer football has, both offensively and defensively.
Here we go, 4th down and 7. Schubert still in the backfield. Slayton throws towards number 1 again, and it's a touchdown. Unbelievable catch by Connor Jones. Looked very similar to the completion we saw, though, for a shorter distance, but a big-time result for the Warriors.
We talk about matchups. You got to have the right matchup. That was a perfect opportunity because Connor Jones is 6'4", and James Mabry's only about 5'8". So all Slayton needed to do was just fire the ball over his shoulder, let him go after it, make the catch, and a touchdown for the Warriors. Big play.
Only a Braden Walliser extra point away from tying this game up. This officially the final action we will see before the start of the second quarter. Walliser's kick, though, might have been blocked. Regardless, is no good. So Mooresville has that lead, 7-6 at the conclusion of the first quarter. An entertaining first quarter. We expected tonight's game to be close. It looks like it should be. We thank you for tuning in and invite you to stay with us. Much more still to come right after the short timeout on the ISC Sports Network.
Worried your family isn't protected at home? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eShield Security Solutions. With Endeavor eShield Security Solutions, peace of mind comes from knowing your family and your business are safe. We also provide internet, television, wireless, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
This isn't just any Hubler. I'm Greg Hubler, and I'm always here to help. You ask, why does that matter? Well, I'm here to ensure you get the best experience and the best possible price. And don't forget, every new Chevy comes back by the Greg Hubler Promise. That's 3 years of scheduled maintenance included with every new vehicle purchase. This isn't just any Hubler.
It's Greg Hubler Chevy.
Let me show you why we're different than any other dealer.
Cruise on over to Canby.
Back at Warriors Stadium, second quarter about to get underway as the Danville Warriors kick off, and Mooresville will have good field position early on. They'll get the ball at about the 44-yard line. Short kick, not a good extra point as well. The kicking game would appear to favor Mooresville early on.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Mooresville has a strong kicking game, and that's their advantage. Anytime you can touch back and send the offense back in the end zone. You know, JJ, when you look at the offensive linemen throughout the state of Indiana, one of the most touted offensive linemen that I've been aware of is a guy named Bob Denton out of Martinsville, who eventually went on and played at Michigan State. Bob Denton is now the offensive coordinator for Mooresville.
Great to see and great job. Although, if he's the offensive coordinator, what's Mike Gillen? he oversees the offensive coordinator because I think he has a big say in what the Mooresville offense is doing and what a job he's done over his career. His 40th year on the sidelines, the third leading active in terms of wins in the state of Indiana, 309. As we have an injury on the field, we'll keep it right here as we wait to see what happens. Looks like a Danville Warrior is down right near the 50-yard line. That was a 9-yard gain, though, on first down. Again, we're seeing a theme. Mooresville with big yardage on first down.
Yeah, first down efficiency, so that opens things up for Goodman being able to throw the football downfield. And when you talk about injuries, boy, does it have an impact on programs at the Class 3A level, because these teams, oftentimes we talked about, have guys that go both ways, and it's very difficult. You speak about Mike Gillen in his 40 years. You know, when he first started coaching, it's my understanding he was an assistant in Monrovia when a young Rick Strife was a running back from Monrovia, and Mark James was the team manager for the Bulldogs many years ago. And I've known Mark for a long time, and Mark has a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Gillen. And Coach Rick Strife, I think, will be a Hall of Fame football coach when all things said and done. He's now the new athletic director at Cathedral High School. He won so many championships with the Irish, and certainly a tribute to him and his coaching staff. But hopefully this young man who fell down and injured himself will be able to get back and up and going here.
Looks like Tommy Elliott, and he went ahead and limped off towards that Mooresville sideline just so we could get to the bench quickly. Tommy Elliott, a 6-foot, 205-pound outside linebacker. All three linebackers listed as starters for Danville are seniors. So that's maybe the heart and soul of that defense, and you take one of those guys away and it can really cost you.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You have to be concerned about it right now, but you got to play through. Goodman firing right off the bat.
Pass is complete to Braden Evans. It works like a running play because it's such a high percentage pass, and then you get much more than running play yardage. Evans gets it down inside the 30-yard line, a pickup of just over 22 yards, looks like.
Evans had 3 receptions last week for 41 yards. He also ran from the slot, JJ, 2 times for 15 yards. They run a lot of people from the slot and keep the defense off balance here.
John Heineman, the highly touted receiver, the all-time leading receiver for Mooresville, had the best single season mark last season. He's number 11, but maybe some tough yardage picked up by maybe Brecken Green. Yes, number 45, just a sophomore. He's 5'3", 123. So I referenced Danville and Chandler Schubert, how he's a little guy that can kind of hide in that line. Well, he's 5'10". Brecken Green, 5'3".
I tell you what, Mark Broderick, who also plays wide receiver for Danville, came in from his corner slot. He nearly had this young man behind the line of scrimmage and just missed a tackle for loss. But Mooresville, again, as you mentioned, getting positive yardage on first down, putting lots of pressure on the Warriors.
Goodman under center. We don't see that very often. The pass was thrown to Heineman, and it almost caught, almost intercepted, falls incomplete.
Well, good job of running a little short slant there on the left side for Goodman. And the defense, unfortunately, was out of position, but the ball was thrown behind him. If it was thrown on target, we might have had a touchdown.
Well, it's not lost, though, if you're Mooresville. You still got 3rd and 5 and a very prolific offense. Goodman now goes back to his customary spot in the shotgun. Brecken Green will be beside him, perhaps giving James Mabry Jr. a few plays off as he's playing both ways. Throws towards the end zone, out of bounds. Blake Garrett was the intended target, but really well covered. Maybe just threw it away as a safety option. Nice job by Zane Thomas, the DB on the near side of the field for Danville on the boundary side. Did a good job of picking up the receiver. Now it's 4th down territory for Mooresville. And with Mooresville, you never know. They might want to run Goodman. They haven't done it at this point in time. Maybe run a little counter action. Danville defense on their toes here. So Brecken Green, the sophomore, stays in that backfield with Goodman. Goodman ran to the side, talked with Coach Gillen, get the play, and then he's back out there. And did they get someone to jump, or maybe that was the attempt? But it looks like they might have jumped themselves. It'll be procedure penalty on Mooresville. Yeah, it looked like someone on the interior of the offensive line flinched before the ball was snapped. That forced one of the Danville Warriors to get into the zone, and then here's a big personal foul. False start for Mooresville, and it really changes things. From 4th and 5 to 4th and 10 from the 29, so you still have to go for it, but you don't seemingly have as many options as you did before the penalty. Green stays on the field. Goodman looks for something. He'll roll to his left, similar to the way Danville had been doing. This time he does throw left, finds a target. It's Heinemann. It's going to be very close. It will depend on the spot, but it looks like he's going to be a yard shy of the first down. Carson Waddell, number 4, did a great job because this young man, Heinemann, did a double move on the far side of the field. Waddell stuck with it, came back and made the play. He recovered quickly, short of the first down. Mooresville disappointed they could get that close and not get any points, but they do get that ball down into Danville territories. Danville will take over at the 20-yard line. So if you're Mooresville, you think you're stopped just because of the penalty. You're confident in what you're doing offensively, and now you're asking your defense to make a play. Well, defensively, Danville did a nice job of putting pressure on the quarterback there. Goodman nearly had to go down with a sack. Had to release the ball a little bit quicker than he wanted to. Slayton, hands off. Skinner is back in the ball game for Danville. You had a helmet fall off of Caleb Marr, so he will run to the sideline. That's a requirement. If your helmet falls off, you got to get that taken care of. So in for Danville trots number 71, Trenton Woodard. Caleb Marr has played both defense and offense this year. Came out of the gate here in the first possession. Very physical in the offensive line for the Warriors. Second down pass is complete to Tyler Dawson. Dawson close to a first down. I think he will have a first down as the Warriors will move the chains. You have to block if you're a receiver in this offense, and Zane Thomas, number 14, did a really good job for Danville that time, taking on Mabry, one of the DBs for the Mooresville Pioneers. Good job by the Warriors of executing their offense downfield. How about Tyler Dawson? He's a freshman, 6'2", 185, a freshman playing varsity high school football. Keep an eye on Dawson. Remember that name. First down and 10 from the 33. Couple of yards it looks like for Skinner, maybe just one. So many times we're seeing these quarterbacks really across the state of Indiana. They're operating out of the shotgun. They're operating out of the no huddle. It makes more plays in a game. It does tend to wear kids out, especially when you're only in week 2. I tell you what, that last play, the right side of the Danville offense actually jumped before the ball was snapped. They got away with one. But it shows you the strength of this running back, Skinner, because he should have gone down about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but he found his way about a yard ahead of the marker there. Everybody's 2nd and 9. Chandler Schubert has checked into the game. He had success on the last Danville drive, and he'll get the handoff and has a hole. That right side of that Danville offensive line that we talked about, Caleb Marr, Jackson Douglas, Tristan Whitcomb, opening some running room for Chandler Schubert. And when the free safety has to come up and make the tackle there, who's not attacking the line of scrimmage, and that's Gavin Evans for Mooresville, you know Danville's doing a nice job up front. Excellent job by Danville. And again, as we talked about, they're a work in progress. They're a team that's going to be a handful when they get to the tournament. They just have to gain experience, and the coaches need to teach. Casey Woods, 23-5 in his third year at Danville. Had some great experience at coaching at schools around central Indiana, but he came back home and has had so much success. A storybook return to Danville. 3rd down and 1, handoff to Schubert. I do not think he's going to get it. Great job by that Mooresville defensive line, setting up a decision for Danville.
Yeah, really good job up front by the Pioneers. Connor Kite, one of the defensive tackles, did a good job of stuffing the line of scrimmage. They really pushed it back, caused problems for Danville. On the other hand, the running back, he's got to run through that hole.
You see Mike Gillen, he's wearing the shorts. 40th year, Mike Gillen, and he's proud of the job his defense did. I think he hopes they just punt this one away so he can get that ball back to his offense and maybe tack on another touchdown. Once again, 7-6 Mooresville midway through the second quarter of this game here at Warrior Stadium. Slayton, the quarterback, will punt it away. Much better than his first punt. Inside the 20, Eineman, talented receiver, makes a couple moves. He's down the left sideline. Can he make another move? He's into Danville territory. Will finally be brought down at about the 44-yard line. Excellent play by the Mooresville special teams. This is becoming a theme.
They outkicked the coverage there. The only guys down to cover the punt were the linemen, and that's a mismatch completely because Eineman did a nice job of faking to his left, then running up the sideline to the left side, and by the time the coverage came down, he was past the 50-yard line.
So they'll take over with their best field position, 1st and 10 from the 44 of Danville. Already with a 7-6 lead, 6:46 on the clock, and under center is the senior Carson Goodman. Remember, 2,440 yards passing a season ago. That was in just 7 games, but he's got James Mabry Jr. to hand off to start this drive, and when they had success in that first drive, it came with first down runs from Mabry, setting up passes from Goodman.
That was huge. Out of the base defense, out of the 43, they were able to pick up nearly 8 or 9 yards. Mabry, this is a good sign for Mooresville offensively. When you can run the football, that's going to allow Goodman to have all sorts of opportunities throwing the football downfield.
On 2nd down, Mabry gets it once again, and he will have a first down. So the first 2 plays on the ground, just like the first 2 plays of the game for Mooresville.
And again, their offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage, which we talked about as one of the keys in this game. Who's going to win the battle of the trenches? So we look at Casey Woods in the white shirt with the headset on, taking a look at one of the assistant coaches, trying to maneuver things defensively. They've got to make a stop.
First down and 10 from the 33. Fake the handoff, rolling to his right is the quarterback Goodman. Hits number 5 out of the backfield. The fullback for Mooresville, Blake Garrett, 5'8", 248. Sure-handed receiver, picks up about 9 on the play.
He had a reception for 25 yards and a touchdown against Lebanon. That time, he was locked up on a linebacker. A good mismatch again for Mooresville to take the football downfield. Plenty of space for this young man, Garrett, to make the catch and cut upfield near the first down marker.
And the clock is running. You've got Eineman, the talented receiver, at the top of the screen alongside Braden Evans. In motion goes Garrett. Perhaps some extra blocking for James Mabry Jr. He doesn't need much. He only needed 3 yards on this play. Has 3 and then some. He's down around the 10-yard line. Impressive job by James Mabry Jr. Really like what we've seen from this man on both sides of the football.
And they're doing it out of the spread without a tight end. And that time, a nice job by the running back, Garrett, who was coming from the flanker side. He was kind of the H-back, if you will, the tight end. They blocked it down. Danville was not able to control the edge. First down, Pioneers.
And you know, they pick up those yards running left. On the other side is Steve Thomas, a talented defensive end for Danville, praised by Coach Casey Woods. And maybe when you want to stop him, you go the other direction. When you want a touchdown, you hand it to James Mabry Jr. 11 yards out, and Mooresville has scored again.
I think Mabry was kind of shocked when he got to the second level, JJ, because nobody was there. He kind of hesitated as he got through about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and then accelerated in the end zone. Again, this Mooresville offense showing how high-powered they are. Bob Denton has to feel real good about his troops.
James Mabry Jr., he got the last offensive series a little bit as a break. And he comes back rejuvenated on that drive and scores his second touchdown of the day. And the kick is up, And the kick is good. Christian Swigert gives Mooresville an 8-point lead, 14-6. 4:49 to play here in the second quarter. Let's take a quick timeout. You're watching the ISC Sports Network.
Keep up to date with your favorite high school, college, and semi-professional teams on the ISC Sports app. Download it today from the App Store, Google Play, or on Roku. The ISC Sports Network. Local lives here.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Tired of watching the same old things on TV? Something new is on the horizon. The ISC Sports Network. Contact your cable provider today to add the ISC Sports Network. See the big games, the big moments, the championships, and more from all across the state. High schools, colleges, original content you can't find anywhere else. On the ISC Sports Network, it's all here. Find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
We're back. Warrior Stadium. Danville trailing Mooresville 14-6. The opening kickoff, or the kickoff after the Mooresville touchdown, was returned by Mark Broderick. The senior brought out to about the 25-yard line where the Danville Warriors will take over first down and 10. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Greg Hubler Chevy. At Greg Hubler Chevy, every new vehicle purchase comes with our exclusive Greg Hubler promise. That means 3 years or 45,000 miles of scheduled maintenance, complimentary service pickup and drop off, and a free car wash and vacuum with every visit. GregHublerChevy.com for more information. A run on first down, and once again, you've got to give a lot of credit to that Mooresville defensive line. You see big Connor Kite, 6 foot 220. He pops up from the pile. No gain on first down for Danville.
And JJ, you mentioned Camden Schmidt earlier in the broadcast, the linebacker. He also went flying right at the line of scrimmage to help out. They're doing a great job at the point of attack, not allowing Danville to have much space between these tackles.
Chandler Schubert, the junior, has had some success in this game. He is in the backfield alongside Ben Slayton operating out of the shotgun. Slayton trying to get in a little bit of a groove, looks downfield, pretty pass, even better catch by Zane Thomas. I mentioned trying to get in a groove, that'll help you do it.
Wow, they went right down the middle of the field against this Tampa 2 defense, and they matched up with the middle linebacker, Diop, and he drilled it right down the seam. Great job of Slayton of delivering the football. First down, Warriors.
32 yards on the completion. 37 yards on the completion. Ben Slayton. You just got to give that man a little bit of time, and you saw what he's capable of. Coach Casey Woods has had some really good quarterbacks, though, over the last couple of years since Ben Slayton. He's tall, he's strong, maybe has the best pure pass of the last couple of years that he's had here at Danville, and they've had a lot of success. Remember Toby Highland, a dual threat from a year ago. Ben Slayton, a little bit more of a classic drop-back passer, and you saw that on the completion.
Ben Slayton getting a second lease on life, had some challenges at Plainfield that were relatively well documented, and then he transferred here to Danville. He at one time as a sophomore was a highly recruited young quarterback. He has a skill level to really take this team far once they get it going.
And another impressive pass, Tyler Dawson. That's the freshman receiver we talked about earlier in the game, and it's down to the 20-yard line. First down, Danville Warriors. 3 minutes and 12 seconds on the clock.
Great job of Tyler Dawson at 6'2", 185, as you just mentioned, a freshman using his body to block out that defender and make the catch. And again, Slayton putting it right on the money.
Play clock at 20. We're not having any issues with anybody getting delayed games in this game. I think they're usually snapping at about 10, 20 sometimes. They're changing the plays every once in a while, so as soon as I say that, now 7 on the play clock for Ben Slayton and the Danville Warriors. That handoff will go to Schubert. Schubert will be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Camden Schmidt, 6 foot, 236. He's officially titled the Butch inside linebacker. You like your linebacker to be named Butch.
Yeah, and he got some help by Jalen Shuck, number 73, a senior. who now they're shuffling their interior linemen out of the ball game. Very physical football game when you have guys going both ways.
Last week was broadcasting on the ISC Sports Network, West Lafayette and Lafayette Jeff, and when we got to the second half, almost every other play was stopped for cramping.
Yes.
And so hopefully the weather's a little cooler. Guys are maybe even in a little bit better shape than they were a week ago. I have not seen that be a problem today. That pass falls incomplete. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Dawson, once again, just a freshman. I think Slayton was hoping he would break that route off just a couple yards earlier.
Last week's West Lafayette Jeff game was phenomenal from the standpoint of a 3A school coming from behind 22-7 in West Lafayette and knocking off the Jeff Broncos. And the Adams kid, the quarterback, speaking of cramping, how gutty was it for him to come back in the ball game?
Yeah, he kept coming in, and when he came back in, I said, well, if he comes in, he's just going to drop back and throw it. And then the game-winning play, or the play that sealed the victory, was a 25-yard scramble for a touchdown. And then immediately when he got to the end zone, he fell to the turf. But it was a courageous performance, and hopefully the cramps are a thing of the past, and West Lafayette is a team to keep an eye on in Class 3A. And speaking of teams to keep an eye on, Danville in Class 3A as well had a lot of success last year. Maybe we'll take a step back this year, but 3A football is kind of a fun little postseason to keep an eye on.
There's no doubt about it. I tell you what, those West Lafayette Red Devils are loaded with so many good Division I talent. The one player that really stood out in my mind doesn't get a whole lot of exposure because it's his first year playing football, Nelson Mabongo on the backside. That kid, I think he's got Division I talent all over him.
I talked with assistant coach Kelly Kitchell before the game, and I said, where will Bongo play? He said, well, we'll put him a little bit of everywhere. So he officially, in the 2 deep, he wasn't listed as a starter at any position, but he made an impact on the field in that game, and he does the same in basketball. Broadcast one of his basketball games, and he's a high flyer on the basketball court as well. He's one of those guys they've been trying to get to come out to play basketball or to play football, and it worked this year.
I think if I'm Nelson, I'm going to play football. I think his bread and butter will be football if he decides to play at the Division I level, because as a basketball player, he's a tweener. He's a little bit too small to play forward or even center at the Division I level. Probably end up, if he plays basketball, playing Division II or Division III, which is perfectly fine because there's a lot of great programs and a lot of great education, and he can win championships there too. But I tell you, he can make a lot of money playing football. He can run.
And we've seen some NFL tight ends who didn't even play college football. They played basketball. Big third down play, 3rd down and 8 from the 20 as quarterback Slayton has running back Schubert beside him, fakes the handoff, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Danville Warriors! Danny Swindle! And another perfect pass from quarterback Slayton. Check that, that's Mark Broderick. Ben Slayton to Mark Broderick for the touchdown.
What you have to like about Slayton there is his footwork. We don't have a replay here, but what fantastic footwork. He came back, a 3-step drop, he set up his feet and just fired forward. He did a great job. That's called a lot of discipline and great fundamentals by this quarterback.
Ben Slayton really looked sharp this drive, and you came into this season knowing if Danville was going to do something big, then it would be a big reason for that would be Ben Slayton, because of that experience he had, because of how good he is as a passing quarterback. Now going to try to do it here on the 2-point conversion. 2 minutes on the clock, and Danville will go for 2 to try to tie this game up.
Look for Connor Jones on the far side, number 1. He's got a mismatch over there.
Nice call. The ball does go to Jones. Puts one hand up to try to reel it in. Unable to do so. So a couple of problems on the point afters, one on a kick, one on a pass play, and that's the difference in the game right now as Mooresville leads Danville 14-12. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the NCAA Hall of Champions in beautiful White River State Park in downtown Indianapolis. Experience all 24 NCAA sports at the NCAA Hall of Champions. With its 2 floors of interactive exhibits, you can shoot some hoops, kick a field goal, test your vertical jump, and much, much more. Plan your visit at NCAAchampions.org. A great game, 14-12. Mooresville with their 1-0 record, Danville 0-1. 2 very evenly matched teams, if I do say so myself. Much different than what we saw when these 2 teams met last season.
Oh yeah, last year these 2 teams played at Lucas Oil Stadium, and the outcome 59-17 for Danville. This is a whole different ball game this year. Talk about the NCAA Hall of Champions. I still can knock down shots in the basketball gym there, but forget about testing the vertical jump. Forget about it.
Yeah, I don't even know why that would be for adults. Yeah, let the kids try the vertical jump. That's just You're trying to feel good when you go to the Hall of Champions. You don't want to feel bad about yourself. And the kickoff is in the air. Falls down about the 20-yard line. Somebody's got to fall on it, and eventually Mooresville retrieves it. They'll get down out to about the 33-yard line.
Well, that was a nice kick, too, because it had the Pioneers pinned in to the sideline. But again, you take a look at their overall team speed. They add an additional 10 yards there with that speed returning kicks. So special teams advantage Pioneers.
Interesting decision here for Mooresville. How do you play these final 2 minutes of the first half? Once again, Danville had the ball first. So Mooresville will have to start the third quarter. You want at the very least to go into halftime with that 2-point lead, knowing you'll get the ball. But if you could somehow put something together, I think with this kind of field position, they're not going to sit on it. That's not Mike Gillen's style. Pass is complete to John Eineman. Talented receiver, picks up 6. I think they're fully intending to try to march down the field and get a touchdown before halftime.
Yeah, they're going to put the pedal to the metal here. They want to put points on the board. They have the capacity to do that with the speed on the outside and Goodman's arm.
And that timeout is called by Mooresville. Still 1:45 on the clock, and that is their second timeout. So the clock will stop, of course, on first downs or incomplete passes. And we do know that Mooresville, from what we've seen, especially from the kickoffs, Christian Swigert has some range. I don't think he kicked a number of kickoff or field goals a season ago, but 4 for 7 in point after touchdowns, I believe, last week. So he's much better than tonight he's shown than maybe he was even last week.
No doubt about it. And, you know, when I think about Mooresville, when I got this broadcast assignment initially, the first thing I think about is the kicking game. Because Kyle Mossbrucker was as good a high school football kicker as there was at Mooresville, and now he's a member of Kirk Ferentz's staff at Iowa. So those of you who are college football fans understand Iowa does have a pretty good presence here in Indianapolis area, and I believe they already nailed a couple kids out of Decatur Central, and they're looking for more, and Kirk does a really nice job.
Iowa is one of those schools that's done a really good job of making Indiana, looking at the top Central Indiana players, a priority. On second down and 4, first down completion, so the chains will move, the clock will stop, and now Mooresville's going to have to pick up the pace just a little bit. The first down at the 46. You like how comfortable Carson Goodman is running this 2-minute drill. Goodman, pass, complete. Kyler Evans, he's brought down before going out of bounds, so the clock will continue to run.
That's a really nice call by the official and good coverage by Zane Thomas. Both Goodman and Slayton both have good footwork. They are not throwing off their back foot. They're very balanced and very comfortable.
John Eineman at the bottom of the screen, way too much cushion. He gets the first down, and if you're a Danville fan, this is kind of like a nightmare revisited. Remember what happened against Cascade 1 week ago. Cascade marched down the field 80-plus yards in the final minute and a half, scored a touchdown with 3 seconds left to give Cascade that win over Danville. Now Mooresville having no problems marching down the field in their 2-minute drill. That pass would have been complete if not thrown behind Braden Evans. But the clock does stop, so that's not necessarily a bad thing for Mooresville. They get a chance to catch their breath.
One of the most difficult things, I think, for Danville here is they're not putting much pressure on the quarterback, and Goodman is only taking 3 steps and releasing the ball quickly. So now you've got to be able to be in a position where you have to cover receivers and probably just don't have the athletes. So you have to figure that they're going to probably target Eineman here. He's got an opportunity with his length and his speed to really take advantage of this matchup here for the Pioneers.
And that coverage on Eineman, they are not giving him the cushion. He's going to try to go deep. They have time to get rid of it. Nice route from Eineman as he went deep, then a little bit of a comebacker towards the sideline, but it is incomplete. Goodman had to evade a little bit of a rush, so credit the Danville defense for kind of breaking things up just a little bit.
I'm just going to mention Casey Woods did a really nice job making a call there. They finally put pressure on the quarterback. It came from the inside from the linebacker. Number 5, who also plays running back, Skinner, did a good job of putting some heat on Goodman.
Mike Gillen, you can tell he's not happy with what happened on that play, but here it's still 3rd down and 10 now from the 36. 53 seconds on the clock before halftime. Timeout is going to be called, and I don't think Goodman really liked what he saw. Maybe Coach Gillen didn't like what he saw, but that's their final timeout of the half.
You know what I really like, and you just said this about Coach Gillen as you take a look at him, he's not happy. This is what makes him great. He's never satisfied. He's not satisfied with yesterday. He's satisfied only with what you do right now. He's constantly pushing, and I know talking to him before this a football game this week, he said that this team is still a work in progress. Even though people might think they've kind of turned the corner after going 4-8 last year, he still thinks, much like Casey Woods, they've got a lot of work to do.
And he's also not satisfied. I'll share this story with the team's performance on calling the opening toss, the coin toss. He told the officials he's lost 13 straight coin tosses. He's not talking about deferring, because he said, if we win the toss, I want the ball. He said, we've lost all 13 at Mooresville. What happened tonight? He lost the toss again. He's 0 for 14. It's like red and black at roulette. That can't happen. 3rd down and 10. Goodman looking deep. Finds his target, Kyler Evans. We've got a penalty flag.
Yep, I said uh-oh because Zane Thomas was holding the receiver downfield, number 6, Kyler Evans, and there will be pass interference downfield on the Warriors. And unfortunately for Danville, that will stop the clock.
The clock is stopped. We'll get a 1st down. It's a number of things, none of them good for the home team, as Mooresville is now in position. You'd almost think they're close to even field goal range if they need it, but Mike Gillen, he's not thinking field goal. He wants 7.
Yeah, he wants 7. There's no doubt about it.
Penalties have been big in this game. I'll credit both teams. It's been pretty well played. We haven't seen a number of penalties, but the ones we have seen have been big.
Yeah, and last week, as we talked about, Danville was really bothered by these penalties that really cost them the outcome of the game.
So it would have been 4th down and 10 from the 36. All of a sudden, the penalty flag means 1st and 10. Mooresville from the 21-yard line. Now, once again, they don't have any timeouts left. 48 seconds, 49 seconds on the clock. If you're stopped in bounds, you've got to have your other play ready to go. They're going to fake the handoff, rolling left, short pass to the flat, and probably for Mooresville, it's better off that Blake Garrett did not catch that because he would have been quickly tackled.
And the clock stops, so that's a plus for Mooresville to reset here. You think about Goodman as a senior. He's got a lot of composure out there. The last couple plays, there's been a lot of heat that Danville's been throwing on him. He's just hung in the pocket very nicely and tried to find his receivers downfield. He hasn't tried to force anything in particular right now.
Mooresville lost their first 8 games last season, but Coach Gillen told me that everything really started to turn around when Carson Goodman took over at quarterback in the 5th game of the year. That handoff to James Mabry Jr. Now, we mentioned 30 seconds on the clock, no timeouts. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 4. 1st down would stop the clock, at which point then they might spike it to stop it. But this is an interesting play because and there the ball is snapped, and now Mooresville is in serious trouble because Goodman had to fall on it. There's 20 seconds on the clock, no timeouts left. I would have think they're maybe out of field goal range as well. Mooresville treating this as if it's almost their final play of the half. 10 seconds on the clock. Goodman running back out onto the field. 5 seconds. Snap to Goodman. He's going to throw it towards the sideline to Eineman, but he can't get out of bounds in time. Can he get to the end zone? That'll be the final play of the 1st half. Costly mistakes late in the 2nd quarter by Mooresville. They're unable to get any points after getting 1st and 10 from the 21.
That may have really cost them in this ball game, but there's a whole half ahead of them. Just a lack of execution, and we're going to see this from a lot of teams early on in the season in IHSAA football.
Casey Woods with a few pointers for the officials as we go to halftime. We're going to take a quick timeout. We thank you for joining us on the ISC Sports Network for 1st half action. Once again, Mooresville has the lead over Danville, 14-12. Much more still to come right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
This isn't just any Hubler. I'm Greg Hubler, and I'm always here to help. You ask, why does that matter? Well, I'm here to ensure you get the best experience and the best possible price. And don't forget, every new Chevy comes back by the Greg Hubler promise. That's 3 years of scheduled maintenance included with every new vehicle purchase. This isn't just any Hubler.
It's Greg Hubler Chevy.
Let me show you why we're different than any other dealer.
Cruise on over to Canby.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Again? I'm going to miss the big game.
Troubled by your TV provider? Endeavor is here with eTV. With Endeavor's television service, there's no need to worry about a thunderstorm or whether your satellite dish is pointed in the right direction. We also provide internet, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people. Not getting their messages? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with e-wireless. Endeavor Communications combines the nation's largest 4G LTE network with friendly hometown service, so you'll always be connected to your kids. We also provide internet, television, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click weendeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Tired of watching the same old things on TV? Something new is on the horizon. The ISC Sports Network. Contact your cable provider today to add the ISC Sports Network. See the big games, the big moments, the championships, and more from all across the state. High schools, colleges, original content you can't find anywhere else. On the ISC Sports Network, it's all here. Find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
This isn't just any Hubler. I'm Greg Hubler, and I'm always here to help. You ask, why does that matter? Well, I'm here to ensure you get the best experience and the best possible price. And don't forget, every new Chevy comes back by the Greg Hubler promise. That's 3 years of scheduled maintenance included with every new vehicle purchase. This isn't just any Hubler.
It's Greg Hubler Chevy.
Let me show you why we're different than any other dealer.
Cruise on over to Canby.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Again? I'm going to miss the big game.
Troubled by your TV provider? Endeavor is here with eTV. With Endeavor's television service, there's no need to worry about a thunderstorm or whether your satellite dish is pointed in the right direction. We also provide internet, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people. Not getting their messages? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eWireless. Endeavor Communications combines the nation's largest 4G LTE network with friendly hometown service, so you'll always be connected to your kids. We also provide internet, television, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
A beautiful night, Danville High School, Warrior Stadium, week 2 of high school football on the ISC Sports Network. Jeremiah Johnson, happy to be here, joined by Mike Walensky, enjoying a really competitive first half, and in preparing for this game, I expected it to be close, and it's living up to that.
Oh, it is. Both teams are running the football pretty well. You got to give Danville a lot of credit because it looked to me there that Mooresville had an edge there in special teams play and just an overall team speed. And just there at the end, Mooresville missed a huge opportunity. They missed a huge opportunity because clearly it looked like they were going to march in for another touchdown or potential field goal.
You're watching the halftime show brought to you by eShield Security. Endeavor eShield Security provides security protection for your home or business, powered by quality Honeywell products. Endeavor eShield helps protect what you cherish most. Call 1-800-922-6677 for more information. As you see the Danville band performing here at halftime. It's windy. The flags are still moving around, but you know, despite the rain that's been around over the last week, we've got what should be a clear night tonight, and I'm interested to see in the second half when Mooresville has the ball to start the third quarter, if they can kind of forget about what happened at the end of the second quarter.
Well, one thing that has not occurred here in the first half are turnovers. And Danville, in the last possession, even though Mooresville was marching down the field, was having an opportunity to get the ball in the red zone, nearly had a couple turnovers because of the pressure that Danville was showing. So defensively, Danville's going to have to take some risks and some shots at trying to create some opportunities. If they can, with this huge crowd here, tremendous turnout at Danville, they've got a chance to win this football game.
First home game of the season for Danville, of course, coming off a spectacular 13-1 season in 2017. Tonight's ISC Sports Network scoreboard. As you take a look, download ISC Sports Network today from your favorite app store. Watch free live sports broadcasts, including all IHSAA tournament events, the ISC Sports Network. Local lives here. You see a couple of games that are live on the ISC Sports app right now. Guerin Catholic leading Lafayette Central Catholic 13-0. Also, Batesville 27-0 over Milan, and of course our game. So all three of these games are live on the ISC Sports app, and we really saw the app take off. At least I did. I think saw how cool it can be in the basketball state tournament when you're seeing games kind of from all over the place. And what a great job it's what a great innovation it's been, and it's been great to be a part of it.
No doubt about that, and great to be part tonight at Danville. And JJ's looking at Danville's record in the football tournament, 56-34, which is really phenomenal. But yet, when I talked to Casey Woods, I learned that in the last 10 years, other than Alec Burton, who's a Division I prospect at Ohio University this fall, only one other Division I prospect, and that was Jake Powers in 2003, who went on and played football at Indiana University. So a tribute to this coaching staff, because they not have only won, but they haven't always had the greatest of talent. They've had great coaching here, great history.
Casey Woods 23-5 in his third year, and on the other sideline tonight for Mooresville, we've referenced Mike Gillen, 309 and 126, a winning percentage of 710. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be back to discuss some keys to the second half, maybe look at some other scores around Central Indiana. You're watching the Endeavor eShield Security Halftime Report as Mooresville leads Danville 14-12.
Worried your family isn't protected at home? Have no fear, Endeavor is here with eShield Security Solutions. With Endeavor eShield Security Solutions, peace of mind comes from knowing your family and your business are safe. We also provide internet, television, wireless, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
This isn't just any Hubler. I'm Greg Hubler, and I'm always here to help. You ask, why does that matter? Well, I'm here to ensure you get the best experience and the best possible price. And don't forget, every new Chevy comes back by the Greg Hubler Promise. That's 3 years of scheduled maintenance included with every new vehicle purchase. This isn't just any Hubler.
It's Greg Hubler Chevy.
Let me show you why we're different than any other dealer.
Cruise on over to Canby.
You see special teams for Mooresville on the field. In fact, the entire Mooresville team is on the field. Danville is just coming out of their locker room. You're watching the Endeavor eShield Security halftime report. We showed you the scores of a few games that are currently on the ISC Sports Network app. Let's look around Central Indiana at a couple of other scores in nearby Avon. The Orioles taking on Ben Davis, a high-profile game, and we have an early lead for Avon, 21-14. Surprising to see that, but it's a long game, and I know that's a game of a big crowd tonight. 21-14, Avon over Danville. Another interesting game is New Palestine against Center Grove. New Pal's technically a 4A by enrollment, playing 5A football by success factor against 6A Center Grove, and early lead for New Pal at home, 7-0 over Center Grove.
Kyle Ralph was the head football coach at New Pal. I tell you what, Jeremiah, I knew that he would be a great football coach. I had a sense. I saw him play in high school. He played at St. X in Cincinnati, and he was a dominant lineman for the Bombers. And then he played at North Carolina, had a nice career with the Tar Heels. The minute he stepped on the football field at New Pal, because I've got a lot of friends down there, they were ready to play, and they have just absolutely responded. He may have the best winning percentage in the state of Indiana right now. They seldom lose. They have an unbelievable program.
I believe 5 years and no regular season losses. So he definitely has the best regular season winning percentage. Kyle Ralph has done a fantastic job, and I'll give everyone involved in that matchup credit. Credit Center Grove for being willing to go to New Pal. Credit the Dragons. They don't play as tough of a schedule during the regular season maybe as some due to their conference. Well, this is a challenging game. You're going to see how you stack up when you welcome in a team coached by Eric Moore, the Center Grove Trojans. So we'll be watching the scores, and that's always one of the fun things to do early in the season. Give a shout out to our friend Bob Lovell on Indiana Sports Talk tonight, as he'll have all the scores and, of course, all the television stations. I'm worked at Fox 59 for a number of years and enjoyed the Friday nights, and we haven't seen any helicopters fly over Danville yet, but maybe we'll see some of those as well. So it's always a great time of the year. School's in session, football is underway, and really we should be in store for an outstanding second half here, Mike.
I tell you what, when Bob Lovell comes on the air, it reminds me of the fall. It's my most favorite time of the year. I just absolutely love it, and I love listening to Bob on post-game broadcasts because generally when we're doing a game, we're the last guys out.
All right, we'll get some final thoughts before the third quarter gets underway here from Warriors Stadium in Danville. Mooresville has the lead over the host Warriors, 14-12 on the ISC Sports Network.
Keep up to date with your favorite high school, college, and semi-professional teams on the ISC Sports app. Download it today from the App Store, Google Play, or on Roku. The ISC Sports Network. Local lives here.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Tired of watching the same old things on TV? Something new is on the horizon. The ISC Sports Network. Contact your cable provider today to add the ISC Sports Network. See the big games, the big moments, the championships, and more from all across the state. High schools, colleges, original content you can't find anywhere else. On the ISC Sports Network, it's all here. Find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
Just about time to get the third quarter underway. Mooresville leads Danville 14-12. Quick scoring recap. Mooresville gets on the board first. James Mabry Jr. scored from 3 yards out. Extra point was good, 7-0. Ensuing drive in the first quarter, Danville answers on a big 4th and 7 play from the 9. Ben Slayton connects with Connor Jones. That extra point, though, was no good. Mooresville maintained a 7-6 lead. Then in the second quarter, you saw James Mabry Jr. getting his second touchdown. 14-6 was the score. Danville scored once more before halftime. 2-point conversion was no good. That's where we're at, 14-12. A couple of runs by James Mabry Jr. And interesting to note, that's what Mike Gillen said before tonight's game, is he wanted to see his team run the ball better as well as stop the run on defense. They've done both tonight.
They have. They've done pretty well running the football. They just did not execute down the stretch in the second period when they needed to. Now, here's the key in this ball game. It's conditioning. I mean, it is conditioning, and that's going to determine the outcome of this game, because one of these teams is going to wear down in this ball game. We're early on this season, and it's a little bit humid outside, and here we go.
Another short kick. Got by Mooresville, number 9. Trying to figure that one out. Mooresville will have really good field position. Special teams has been something that's favored Mooresville this entire game. That was Dominic Oldham who returned the kickoff. It'll be first down Mooresville.
And the challenge has been for Danville throughout the first 2 periods of play, including this opening period, is field position. They just can't seem to get the kicking game going, and Mooresville now starts at their own 42-yard line, and with a guy like Goodman, they're going to be in the red zone on a couple of completions.
Goodman passed for over 2,400 yards a season ago in just a partial season, off to a good start, 257 through the air in last week's win over Lebanon. He'll hand that ball off, a little shovel pass to Braden Evans. Braden Evans, first down yardage. That's how you start a half.
It is. When you had a 6-man defensive front, they threaten you to throw the football, and instead you run, and you run with a flanker reverse there. And look at Evans. He just takes off because Danville does not control the edge. And when you don't control the edge, bad things happen to you defensively, and Mooresville has another first down.
First and 10 from the 42. James Mabry Jr. in the backfield. You're seeing Braden Evans, quite a weapon. He's in the slot. He goes in motion. Fakes the handoff to Evans. This time give it to Mabry. Mabry will be almost towards the first down marker. He's close to another first down for Mooresville.
Give credit to the offensive line on that trap play, because Mabry had plenty of space to run through there. It really wasn't Mabry made things happen there. It was those big horses up front that gave him at least 5 yards and more.
The center is Alex LaPlante. The guards, Noah Justice and Jacob Vaughn. Tackles, Zach Richards and Xavier Green. 9 officially on that carry. Second down and 1 from the 33. Under center is Carson Goodman. He'll hand that one to James Mabry. Looked like it took him a couple of yards to get a handle of the football, but he did, and picked up another Mooresville first down.
Another tough play. It put Skinner, the linebacker, in an odd place because he was the guy that should have been there in the hole, and he guessed wrong, and Mabry made him pay with a first down. And now Mooresville, again, I talked about, you get good field position to 42. They're moving the chains. They're near the red zone once again.
Just thinking about the impact of the kicking game. It's something the coaches can't really you can't project out. Sometimes you either have a kicker or you don't at 3A, 4A football, and not having as good of a kicking game is really hurting Danville right now in terms of field position, in terms of the extra points, even the field goal opportunities. That's really the difference in the game right now.
It is. It's an absolute weapon. And speaking of weapon, that offensive line is doing a good job. That time, number 72, the defensive lineman for the Danville Warriors, was cut at the point of attack. This young man has played both ways all night. Caleb Marr, and he gets a chance to take a rest finally as the Warriors rotate some defensive linemen. They are really running the football hard on first down.
4 plays this drive, all of them on the ground. Second down and 7 from the 25. Short drop, that one through the air to favorite target John Eineman. He hauls it in, and he'll be close to first down yardage. That's a high percentage pass. That's what you like if you're Mooresville. You've kept it on the ground, you've moved the football, but you can't just run it every play. When you throw it, it's high percentage pass, it's first down yardage.
And Eineman is so quick, and he gets yards after catch as he matched up on Waddell there on the corner. He has a little bit more size and speed, and then he turned inside to get the first down.
No hangover from what happened at the end of the second quarter for Mooresville. They're marching down the field in what they could potentially take a 2-possession lead. Remember, they're up by 2, 14-12. That handoff to Mabry. Mabry trying to find the end zone for a third time, but he is brought down pretty quickly by number 18 for Danville, Mark Broderick.
Well, finally, Danville got some penetration in the backfield. Number 28, Tristan Carson, also in the ball game. 6 foot, 190-pound senior, number 28, did a good job getting into the line of scrimmage. The problem right now is Danville is crowding the line of scrimmage. There's nobody in the backside. So if Mooresville sends someone towards the post, they've got an opportunity to take a look. There's only 5 yards between the DBs and the line of scrimmage. There's going to be an issue here.
Sprint out to the left, throwing back to his right. Wide open and complete. Oh, wow, incomplete. That was one of those plays. He was so wide open. Maybe Goodman rushed it just a little bit, and it looked like Braden Evans might have fallen down coming out of his route. Unable to see replay here, but that's one I think that there we see the replay. Rolling to his left is Goodman. He sees a wide open receiver. Oh, just got his feet tangled up just a little bit, Braden Evans. That's one you just want to loft it up just a little bit, give him some more time to haul that one in.
Well, Danville is so concerned about their ability to run the football that they're trying to clog the line of scrimmage, and they're leaving a lot of space downfield. They have to get pressure, though, on Goodman.
3rd down and 10, 9 minutes to play here in the third quarter, opening drive of the second half. Goodman towards the pylon, and it is incomplete as well. Kyler Evans was the intended target. Good coverage from Zane Thomas, bringing up 4th and 10.
This was the first time, I think, in a long time Goodman really hurried his throw. He didn't take enough time to set back and try to survey the field. He was looking for Evans the whole way, and a great job by Zane Thomas of defending the receiver on the corner.
You could almost say he hurried the last 2 throws, both of which could have been touchdowns if he just maybe pauses a second, maybe a little more air underneath. Instead, it's 4th and 10, up by 2. You want the touchdown. Mooresville's going to go for it. Throw is to favorite target, Idaman, and it's intercepted, and it could have been for big yardage, as it was. Mark Broderick tripped up at the 10-yard line, so it acts as an incomplete pass. Still, Danville to stop Mooresville for a second time that close in as many possessions.
I talked a little bit about pressuring the quarterback, and Goodman, you said earlier, was a little bit uncomfortable those last 2 throws. This time, finally, the Danville Warriors get a huge turnover, and Broderick makes the pick, and it's 1st down for the Warriors. Now, they're at bad field position. They've got to find a way on 1st down to make positive yardage.
They'll take over at the 10-yard line, so 90 yards away, but definitely the way that drive was going, if you're Danville, you'll take it. Ben Slayton back under center. Alex Skinner, the senior, 5'10", 190, is the running back on the right side of Slayton. The handoff faked to Skinner. Slayton keeps it himself, and he's got big yardage. That's the best run we've seen from Slayton today, and we also in the second quarter saw much better passes. So this is a guy who is maybe getting into position to try to take this game over.
I think what Casey Woods is seeing is what I'm seeing here. Both defensive ends are playing outside the outside shoulder of the interior lineman. Therefore, you can run between the tackles if you get enough hats on the ball, and they were able to do that, and Slayton doing a nice job of finding that 1st down marker.
Be a big drive for Danville if they could march down the field after stopping Mooresville. That handoff does go to Skinner. Skinner bounces it outside. Nice effort to pick up 3 or 4 on 1st down for Alex Skinner.
He bounced it outside. However, Augie Newkirk, number 37, the senior rover for Mooresville, did a really good job, JJ, of turning that ball inside. When you can turn the ball inside, you contain the edge, it limits the amount of yards you're going to gain running the football.
In last week's 28-21 loss to Cascade, Alex Skinner, 27 carries, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Last year ran for over 1,000, so despite some inexperience, he's one of those guys you got to rely on if you're Danville because he has the experience. Ben Slayton has some experience from his days at Plainfield. Look at that! That's a quarterback, folks! He lowered his shoulder 2 or 3 times and just kept running, gets it all the way down to the 14-yard line. That's your play of the night.
Big miss tackle by Mabry in the secondary, but give Skinner a lot of credit. He sold that fake dive play. Skinner did a great job of selling that out, and Slayton wants to stay in the ball game, did a great job of holding his ground and getting good positive yardage and almost a touchdown.
I'll tell you, we thought in the first quarter that Slayton was maybe more of a prototype drop-back passing quarterback. I'm going to take that back. You don't see runs like that from a quarterback very often. Twice lowers his shoulder. Really showed some speed as well. Outstanding play by Ben Slayton. Trying to catch his breath now. They've got 10 on the play clock, so he's looking towards the screen, kind of waiting on the call from KC Woods. Now 5 on the play clock. Can they get this off in time? The snap to Slayton. He'll hand that one off to Alex Skinner. Brought down immediately.
Schmidt, the inside linebacker, slid in there over the center, got a good angle on the play, and dropped him for a loss. As again, the youngster number 72, Caleb Marr, has to check out of the game. That's the second time this ball game he's
Let's get
lost
that man
his helmet.
a better chin strap. Caleb Marr, junior All-State last season, 6'2", 250, and it's costly because it affects you on that play. You almost have to stop the play when the helmet goes off. You lose his services for the next play while they try to fix the helmet, and he's one of your All-State linemen. Now it is 2nd down and 12 from the 17. Fakes the handoff, finding a wide open Tyler Dawson. Touchdown, Danville.
Nice job by Slayton selling that one. Very confident young man at quarterback, poised, and just got himself some balance and fired a perfect strike down the middle for the touchdown.
Tyler Dawson, just a freshman, folks, and he is connecting with the senior Ben Slayton. What a drive and what a start to the second half for Danville. Right now, Mooresville has to be kicking themselves just because of those 2 possessions that they had a chance to score, 0 points on any of them, and now they trail the Danville Warriors.
They're going to go for 2. Now, last time they went for 2, they went for Connor Jones in the over-the-shoulder corner. I think this time they try a slant with Connor Jones. Maybe a little pick play, a legal pick play on the right side with number 14, Thomas.
One is Jones at the top of your screen. They're going to go to the bottom of the screen, and that works just fine as well. He's the reason they had the drive. It's Broderick, number 18. He had the interception on defense, and he has the 2-point conversion, 20-14. Danville over Mooresville. Let's take a quick timeout. You're watching the ISC Sports Network.
Irritated by your internet provider? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eForce high-speed internet. Download speed? No problem. Download an HD movie in seconds with our remarkable gigabit speed. Endeavor not only provides the latest fiber optic technology, we're also here to help you use it. We also provide television, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
This isn't just any Hubler. I'm Greg Hubler, and I'm always here to help. You ask, why does that matter? Well, I'm here to ensure you get the best experience and the best possible price. And don't forget, every new Chevy comes back by the Greg Hubler Promise. That's 3 years of scheduled maintenance included with every new vehicle purchase. This isn't just any Hubler.
It's Greg Hubler Chevy.
Let me show you why we're different than any other dealer.
Cruise on over to Canby.
Just like that, and a kickoff that goes over the head of Braden Evans. He retrieves it. He fumbles it. Ball still on the ground, and Mooresville is going to get the same field position they've had the entire night. But all of a sudden, we saw a good leg from that Danville kickoff. Mooresville wasn't ready for it, and then just some crazy things are starting to happen here.
That was absolutely absurd because Mooresville had a chance for a good kickoff return here. As you take a look at Evans, goes straight up the field. He accelerates, gets up to about the 30-yard line, and he's stripped right there. Good job by number 15 for the Danville Warriors making the strip defensively. And number 23, Wooten, came up a little bit lame, but I think he's going to stay in the ball game.
All right, so Mooresville takes over, starts this drive at the 37-yard line. They've had pretty good field position. They've been able to move the football, but they should really have more than 14 points in this game. First down run for about 4 for the Pioneers.
Defensive lineman Wayne Adams in the ball game, number 56, adds a little bit more beef in the interior for the Warriors, 6'1", 250. And Tommy West, number 10, is in the ball game because I believe, as I just mentioned, number 23, Luke Wooten, has checked out.
You see number 79 for Mooresville on the line, Alexander LaPlante, 6'1", 290. Might want to go behind that right tackle when you're on the ground. Handoff goes to Evans. He breaks a few tackles, and he's off to the races. He's got a man beat. He's going to go to the end zone. What a play for the Mooresville Pioneers. Braden Evans. The Pioneers take the lead, or tie the game, I should say, at 20.
Wow, the Danville Warriors defense overplayed that football and were not able to recover. Let's take a look at this one. They had him locked up in the backfield. He turned the opposite way, and no one was home, and he just shows some speed, some sprinter speed. Look at him run.
You referenced that pursuit and maybe contain. The contain was not there from the Danville defensive end. Everyone kind of gets sucked in a little bit, and all of a sudden he squirts out and doesn't even need the downfield blocking. All right, so we're all tied at 25-22 to play in the third quarter as Mooresville is an extra point away from regaining the lead. They had led this entire game until the last Danville possession. Now at 20-20, the extra point from Christian Swigert is through the uprights, and it is good. So Mooresville takes a 21-20 lead on the ISC Sports Network. We would like to remind you, as always, tonight's broadcast brought to you by the fine folks at Endeavor Communications. Also, Greg Hubler Chevrolet. At Greg Hubler Chevy, every new vehicle purchase comes with our exclusive Greg Hubler promise. That means 3 years or 45,000 miles of scheduled maintenance, complimentary service pickup and drop off, and a free car wash and vacuum with every visit. Visit GregHublerChevy.com for more information. Great crowd. Of course, Mooresville, Danville, two teams that met last year at Lucas Oil Stadium, but a completely different game and just a different setup. You know, Mike Gillen takes over last year, and Mooresville had not had a lot of recent success. They have a rich tradition at Mooresville, but not in the last few years, and they lost their first 8 games, including one that they probably are still remembering a little bit. The way they were defeated at Lucas Oil Stadium by a Danville team that had one of the best teams in school history, but everything has changed here this season. Everything has changed.
Now, for Mooresville, JJ, as they head into the sectional play at the end of the year, that's a sectional you can win because you've got Richmond, Connorsville, Newcastle, Beech Grove. Greenwood was pretty good last year, Shelbyville, and a team that I think might be a sleeper in Mount Vernon because Mike Kirshner, the former coach at Ben Davis, is now manning that program, and they had a big win last week against Hamilton Heights, 43-14.
I would agree with your thoughts on Mount Vernon. Looking forward to seeing if they can kind of close the gap between their arch rival, New Pal. Mount Vernon and New Pal had such a good rivalry for so many years. The kickoff is now back to Danville, and they'll take over at about the 37-yard line. Folks are wondering maybe if there was a fumble. There was not. 5 minutes and 14 seconds to play here in the third quarter. So Danville, do you take over thinking, you know, you're only down 1. It feels like the game should be tied. It's just conversions that are the difference. What's the mindset on this Danville sideline right now?
I think they're in good shape, and they feel pretty good about themselves, and they still recognize, much like Mooresville does, they have to establish the line of scrimmage and run the football. And I think there's certainly a difference between a 4A and 3A ball club in this game. I think Mooresville has speed. If Danville can minimize possessions, they've got a chance to win this ball game.
Number 6, Chandler Schubert, is in the backfield. He gets the handoff on first down. Had a solid first half, but did not fool that Mooresville defense on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Clayton Walls, 30, defensive end, locked up with Marr at the point of attack, and Walls wins this battle. He's number 30, the senior, had 2 tackles in the win over Lebanon. Again, you've got to run the football. You have to be efficient on first down.
2nd down and 10 for quarterback Ben Slayton. Had an outstanding drive, giving Danville the lead the last time Danville had the ball. That is knocked down. Great defense by number 32, Camden Schmidt.
Yep, Schmidt, the linebacker. Generally, the linebackers are going to be a little bit deeper. That time, close to the line of scrimmage, maybe looking for a run, but a 2-step drop. The ball was lofted high enough. Schmidt gets the deflection. This is a big 3rd down play for the Warriors.
Slayton looking towards the sideline to see what kind of play might be called. I'm like you. I think there's some options up there with number 1, Connor Jones. Had a big first half. Could see him possibly break through here in the second half. You've got 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Running back Schubert in the backfield. Shotgun snap to Slayton. Oh, another pretty pass. Mark Broderick had it in his hands but is unable to catch it. Solid defense, and Danville will be forced to punt.
Mabry was on coverage here, number 24 on Broderick. And somehow he found a way to knock the ball free. Here's a pass, perfect comes over the top of the left hand, and Broderick just didn't hold on to it.
All right, so the quarterback, Slayton, will be back to punt. Returning the punt, John Eineman. He's the talented receiver. In last week's win against Lebanon, had a punt return for a touchdown of 67 yards, and that was in that 19-point first quarter that really got things going for Mooresville. Does he get an opportunity here? He will have an opportunity. Can he find an opening? He's going to cut outside. He'll be content to get to right around midfield, and that's solid turn of events here for Mooresville.
Good return by Eineman. Now, he got a block by Mabry on Wooten. That could have been a hold on the near side here, but they let it go, and it allowed this young man to get an extra 5 or 6 yards. But it's very difficult to punt the ball in the open field to Eineman with his speed. Again, you've got to be careful about giving him a chance to have a good start.
The Danville defense had come up with some big plays at the end of the second quarter and the start of the third quarter, but then you don't call it a fluke play, but Braden Evans really just kind of makes something out of nothing, and all of a sudden it was a 60-yard touchdown run. First down and 10. They'll hand that off to the backup, Brecken Green, and he is going nowhere.
Noah Vlasic did a good job there making a stop behind the line of scrimmage. That's one of the first tackles for loss we've seen out of the Danville defense. Now, again, we talked about conditioning. Can Danville, with a lot of players playing both ways, and a few are not, including Vlasic who makes a stop there, can they withstand that same intensity as they did in the first half?
We talked a lot about Danville replacing experience on offense. They had to also replace Dylan Plant. He had 23.5 sacks a season ago, #1 in the state of Indiana. There were some key players from 2017 not back. Some new stars starting to emerge. And speaking of a star, Braden Evans. Welcome to high school football. Braden Evans had a 60-plus yard run. Now a touchdown pass of over 50 yards.
Mooresville did a good job of reading that play, particularly Goodman. He set up, he surveyed the field, as you saw, and nobody was covering Evans down the middle of the field. That was Wooten, 23, who had checked out earlier. It was a little bit tapped up, but great job of pitching and catching, and another touchdown for the Pioneers.
Evans, 3 receptions, 41 yards last week. Also had 2 carries for 15 yards, but he has 2 plays of over 50 yards here in the third quarter alone. You're starting to see the makings of a high-powered offense. When you already have John Eineman, you have James Mabry Jr. in the backfield, and you can mix Braden Evans in both on the ground and through the air. Mike Gillen might be licking his chops right now, and he likes what he sees on the scoreboard as well. The extra point is good. Mooresville leads Danville 28-20.
Quick strike offense for Mooresville. Now, Evans had 3 catches for 41 yards, so they're giving a different look here in tonight's game, and perhaps it could be a different look relative to what the defense is giving him. Danville playing a little zone defense, and Evans finding a gap right down the seam and took it home. He is an outstanding talent, and again, speed is definitely on Mooresville's side in tonight's game.
Braden Evans, you know, you come into this game if you're the Danville defense, and you probably put so much of your game plan around slowing down John Eineman because of his statistics, the school's all-time leading scorer. Coach Gillen told me that he's received interest from Ball State, Purdue, Indiana as well. We'll see what happens with Eineman, but when you got Braden Evans as your second receiver, you're in pretty good shape.
And for Danville, they have to stop the run first. When you're stopping the run first, you're going to give up some passing game, and Goodman does a nice job. Now, Goodman reminds me of a young man who will be at Indiana State playing for Kurt Mallory, who's at East Noble. Those 2 kids have similar skills, so Goodman, in addition to the players that he plays around, has got good skills, as does Slayton, the quarterback for the Warriors.
If Goodman does stay healthy, in a year and a half, he'll become the career leader in passing at Mooresville, which is just remarkable. Took over in the middle of last year and has the chance under Mike Gillen. Outstanding pursuit on special teams for Mooresville. When Mike Gillen is your coach, you have the chance to put up some yards through the air. And quarterback Carson Goodman is taking advantage. So now it's time for Danville. This sideline that was so fired up, the crowd about really 10, 15 minutes ago, they're kind of down. This feels like an important possession.
No doubt about it. Jackson Clem, by the way, Jeremy, #7 for Mooresville, did a really good job on special teams. He came down and hammered Wooten right in the shoulders and slowed him down. Their special teams are doing a nice job because field position does play an important role as Danville starts just outside their 25.
6 is in the backfield. They've been rotating series at running back Chandler Schubert and Alex Skinner, but they'll fake the pass to Schubert. Tried to throw that to Connor Jones, and it falls incomplete. It really just feels like all of the momentum right now is on the Mooresville side of the football.
And they nearly had a pick because the defensive end there, Clayton Walls, had a clear shot. The quarterback deflected. The football was up in the air for a second. I thought maybe Mooresville might have had a chance to intercept the ball. They didn't. But again, when you're playing at 2nd down and 10, you're playing behind the chains, puts more pressure on your offense. Danville has to be very concerned about that. Slayton has to make plays.
Making plays like he did on the ground earlier in this quarter. Maybe you do something to see if he can use his legs, because he had a long run. He showed a lot of talent. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to throw it downfield. That one is complete to Tyler Dawson, the freshman, already with a touchdown, his first career touchdown. Has a big gainer, gets that ball into Mooresville territory.
Nice job by Dawson making the catch. The freshman wearing number 2. A flashback to a Doss young man who played at Indiana, also wearing number 2, Tandon
Doss out of Ben Davis.
Yep, played for the Baltimore Ravens for a while. The number 2 is an effective player. Dustin did a nice job of finding the seam there again, and Slayton has to carry this ball club. He's the guy.
Just over 3 minutes left in the third quarter in a game that really feels like it's going to go down to the final minute. Another classic here on the ISC Sports Network. Pass from Slayton, complete to Zane Thomas. Thomas had 3 receptions, 27 yards, and a touchdown last week against Cascade. He's a senior. Haven't called his name quite as often as some of the other receivers. It does show the depth that Danville has. Maybe some names you're not as familiar with, but by the end of the season, the experience this team will get, I expect this offense really to get going with Slayton. Slayton looking toward that sideline. 2 minutes and some change here to go in the third quarter. I want to see him run the ball again after what we saw on that big gainer in the third quarter. I want to see him lower his shoulder, try to run somebody over. Handoff, though, does go to Schubert, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Good attack by Mooresville there, but I tell you, one challenge for Mooresville is that number 2, Tyler Doston, is lining up as a tight end. It's sometimes difficult to find him. That's possibly why he's released a few times and gotten wide open. And Danville has not used a tight end much, but when they do, it's number 2, the freshman, Tyler Doston.
They've got the 3 receivers at the top of the screen, Mark Broderick at the bottom. They like to go sometimes to the bottom. A little bit of a wheel route towards the 10-yard line. Looks like it's hauled in. Luke Wooten, he's just a sophomore. Nice execution. Great play call by Casey Woods and that offensive staff.
That is a tremendous play by Slayton, and the reason why? Because Mooresville's defensive line was pushing the Danville offensive line back. They're putting a significant amount of pressure. They won the battle, but they eventually got the loss because Wooten made the catch and a great throw by Slayton.
So it'll be first down and goal at the 9-yard line. Slayton hands it off to Schubert. Schubert trying to find something. Gets about 2-3 yards possibly. It'll be second down, goal to go.
That's a design play where Schubert takes off towards the right and then immediately cuts back off the counter to the left side. But again, Mooresville doing a pretty stout job against the run.
Just saw Blake Garrett, 5'8", 248, trot onto the field for that Mooresville defense. They've been running guys in and out, and change at running back as well for Danville as the senior Alex Skinner goes back into the game as he lines up left and a yard behind Slayton in a perfect spot to get that handoff. He's fresh, he's rested, picks up about 4. Will be at the 4-yard line. So third down and 4, and you've got a lot of options with Slayton as your quarterback, Skinner as your running back, your receivers spread out here on a 3rd and 4th play.
You certainly do, and that time Schmidt, the linebacker for Mooresville, he made a mistake. He overran the hole, and a great job of Skinner running right past him to get good positive yardage.
Broderick lined up way to the bottom of the screen, trying to spread out that defense just a little bit. You've got Connor Jones at the top, still out of the shotgun. Similar look as you saw last play. Will it be another handoff to Skinner? We shall see. They do hand it off to Skinner, trying to get that extra block. He's going to be brought down. It's going to be maybe a pickup of 1, it looks like. So 4th down and goal from the 3, maybe a long 2. Kind of hard to see, but this is a big play in the game, Mike.
That time Schmidt, yeah, you're right, huge play. That time Schmidt, 32, and Gavin Evans, their number 14, the free safety. They closed the hole pretty quickly. Good job of containing that right side for Mooresville. Now, do you give Slayton the option to run the football here. They have not picked him out at this point in time, being able to do that, but here's a timeout.
Timeout on the field, and actually that's the end of the third quarter, so a free timeout for KC Woods and Danville Warriors. We're back with the key fourth down play after this on the ISC Sports Network.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Again? I'm going to miss the big game.
Troubled by your TV provider? Endeavor is here with eTV. With Endeavor's television service, there's no need to worry about a thunderstorm or whether your satellite dish is pointed in the right direction. We also provide internet, wireless, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Headed to the fourth quarter, Mooresville leads Danville 28-20, but the Warriors' first play of the quarter will be big. Fourth down and goal from the 3.
Well, just as I mentioned off the air last week, Lafayette Jeff blitzed an outside linebacker on a goal line situation. Will Mooresville try a high-risk, high-reward type of defensive effort here, exposing themselves?
Fakes the handoff to Skinner, throws towards the end zone, touchdown, Zane Thomas! The 4th touchdown pass of the game for quarterback Ben Slayton. He's done an outstanding job, and that's a perfect play call on 4th and goal.
Well, Braden Evans can do it all offensively, but he can't do everything, as he was there on the receiver just a little bit too late. Great delivery by Slayton, and Zane Thomas held on, and now Danville is put in a position where they could tie the game with a 2-point conversion.
Extra points have been an issue for Danville. They will go for 2 here to try to tie this game up. 11:56 on the clock. So it's basically the same situation you just had.
Yeah.
It was 4th and goal from the 3.
Exactly.
Now it's a conversion from about the same distance. Quarterback Ben Slayton, he's a dual threat. He can run, he can throw. He's got Alex Skinner in the backfield. He's going to look, throw towards number 1, Connor Jones, but it's just out of reach. You want to give your guy a chance to make a play in a situation like that.
You're right, and you mentioned that. Give your guy a chance to play. He needed to loft the ball a little bit higher, take a little bit touch off, and it just wasn't there. And unfortunately, they just couldn't convert that. That would have been a tie. And again, you're forced to put pressure on your special teams that hasn't particularly kicked the ball very well tonight.
Seems like every time I broadcast a game on the ISC Sports Network, it is a close one, and this one is no different. Last week had that West Lafayette Jeff game. Had one here last year. Second to last game of the regular season, I do believe it was Danville against Western Boone, and that was a thriller as well, as Danville went on to complete an undefeated regular season. Outstanding season. I think they'll be talking about that 2017 season for quite some time at Danville, because they went 13-1. I know it ended in a disappointing semi-state loss to Evansville Memorial, but that was one for the ages for Danville.
It certainly was. And for everybody involved here, it'll be a great memory. And even though you lose a semi-state, if you get that fire, you're still a champion. Think of it, you're just 4 teams remaining. Now, the question is, do you kick off or you do a little trickeration and run a little onside? There's still plenty of time on the clock here early in the 4th.
The 2 guys back from Mooresville, John Eineman and Braden Evans. I don't think they want to let either one of them have the football, so they promptly kick it on the ground. But it'll be great field position once again for Mooresville. This kicking situation for Danville's proven costly early in the season.
It has, because Mooresville tonight has, we don't have it in front of us, but they've had to average 40-yard line plus starting field position the entire game.
So, Mooresville with quarterback Carson Goodman. First 3 touchdowns for the Pioneers were on the ground. The final one giving them that 28-26 lead. Was through the air, but the star of the third quarter really was Braden Evans. You got to keep an eye now on number 13 because so much talk about John Heineman. He's an outstanding receiver, but Braden Evans, big run, big pass reception. He's at the top of the screen alongside Heineman. But look at that, we've got another helmet off, and that's a scary situation as well. Number 9 for Danville, that's Ethan Dutra trying to fire that crowd up. Has to go out, has to work on that helmet. Ethan Dutra, if it's a name you might remember. Yeah. Elliot Dutra, Chase Dutra. One played at Whiteland, one played at Brownsburg. Now he's got a brother playing at Danville, and he's making an impact.
They made a nice play there. Good penetration. The defensive line has to come out and make some plays here for Danville. They must put pressure right now on Goodman.
Carson Goodman drops back.
Here it is.
And he is swarmed in that backfield.
Nope. That's West, number 10. Tommy West, the junior. He's just 5'9", but he found a way to slide through. They put excessive pressure on Goodman, and he goes down. Take a look at this one. Missed block by the center as number 67 for the Warriors. Trishan Whitcomb put pressure on.
Whitcomb really wreaking havoc, and that allowed West to come in there from his defensive back position. Yes, you said 5'9", and make the play. And so now, it was simply 5 minutes ago I was talking about how this Danville sideline's kind of dead. Mooresville has all the momentum. It's a completely different attitude right now. That handoff goes to number 24 for Mooresville. A leap, a hurdle. I'm not sure that I recommend that from James Mabry Jr., especially over in that Danville sideline.
I think that's a flag. In high school football, you cannot hurdle people in high school football. In other sports, you can.
Well, if you're Danville, you probably would decline that penalty unless it's a post-play foul.
One of the interesting things there is Mabry had taken the handoff. There's the hurdle. The offensive line sold the run. They clearly, if you're reading the play, you read run, and that allowed Danville's defenders on the backside to penetrate and attack the football.
Quick discussion amongst this officiating crew, led by referee Scott Fisher. You see right there. It's going to be a personal foul. It's a questionable call. He's trying to avoid contact, but you're trying to set up rules with safety in mind. The other thing that I would say in that situation, one thing if you're going towards the end zone, but you're trying to make it 4th and 9 instead of 4th and 10, it's not really.
I think they're going to decline this penalty, and if I'm Mooresville, I might go for this. I mean, they're near the 50-yard line, and they have felt pretty good about their defense, but yet it looks like they're going back to punt the football.
He's not just a punt returner and wide receiver. John Heineman is the punter.
I think he had a 67-yard kick in last week's game against Lebanon. I think that was the only punt that he had in last week's game. Their offense was so prolific.
So regardless, it looks like Danville will get the ball, and that's all you can ask for if you're Casey Woodson, guys. You're going to get the ball back in the fourth quarter. Heineman rolling right. He's going to survey the landscape, and he's going to eventually punt it. Right, a line drive punt to Broderick. He makes a move. He's still running. Go down about the 36, 37-yard line. So this Danville crowd is fired up. The ISC Sports Network is set to bring you another outstanding finish. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by the NCAA Hall of Champions. Enjoy football Saturdays at the NCAA Hall of Champions. We'll have the games on. Popcorn is only 50 cents. Wear your favorite collegiate gear the first Saturday of the month through January and receive discounted admission. Plan your visit at NCAAHallofChampions.org. Sounds like a great promotion, great place to spend a Saturday.
Nice. I've been there several times. It's a great place to visit.
Just don't do the vertical jump.
No, not vertical jump at all. But I go to that little gym and you can knock down shots all day long.
And I like 50-cent popcorn. I
could
go for some right now. 1st and 10, Danville from the 37. Quarterback Ben Slayton hands it off. They'll pick up about 4 or 5 on first down. It's the backup running back, Chandler Schubert. It's a nice 1-2 punch. You got Skinner. He's waiting there by the coaches. He goes in whenever he's called upon. A little bit of a mix in terms of style from Schubert and Skinner.
Both, though, very good runners, low to the ground. and good blockers. They both have proven tonight to do a good job of protecting Slayton.
Connor Jones, number 1 at the bottom of the screen. The handoff again to Schubert. Not the kind of play you really need.
Nope.
2nd and 5 turns into 3rd and 8 as the Mooresville defense makes a solid play. Like number 6, Kyler Evans, was among one of the pioneers in the backfield.
Again, you've got Tyler Dawson, a freshman, playing tight end, and they ran the football to that side. He still has a lot of room to grow and get stronger, and he will. He's probably right now a better receiver than blocker.
The difference in the game right now, a 2-point conversion. A missed 2-point conversion for Danville. Mooresville has completed all 4 of their extra point kicks. It's 28-6, but we've got a first down Warriors. We mentioned Connor Jones. He's made some big plays in this game already. That's another one. First down Warriors.
Again, high risk, high reward defensively there. This time Mooresville blitzes their inside linebacker, Schmidt, number 32. He leaves that space open as he leaves man coverage there with the corner. Jones, nice job.
Dawson and Jones at the bottom of your screen. Up top, you've got Zane Thomas and Mark Broderick. You've got 4 sure-handed receivers on the field. Slayton has a number of weapons. We've yet fumble, ball's on the ground. The handoff, a little bit of an issue there, trying to hand it off to Chandler Schubert. So a loss of 2 on first down.
Well, the good news is they recovered the fumble and the clock runs. Again, as we look at this ball game, I really think Danville has to minimize the possessions. They don't have the overall team speed that Mooresville has, and the fewer possessions they can give up to Mooresville, the better chance they have of winning this football game.
Still have not seen Ben Slayton keep it like we did in the 3rd quarter when he picked up 40, 50 yards on the ground, but his passes have been on target, just like
Beautiful.
That one to Mark Broderick.
Beautiful pass, and let me tell you something. Chandler Schubert did a great job of blocking back there, the running back. He's not really big. I mean, looking at this, he's only 5'10", 180, but he's played a lot bigger as Mooresville is really putting pressure at the line of scrimmage.
Both teams still have all 3 timeouts, so we've got 8 minutes to play here in the game. It's going to be a long, but it's going to be an intense and competitive finish. I can feel it. Ben Slayton now looking for the play. Calm, cool, and collected. Ben Slayton been real impressed with the job he's done for Danville, the senior, in his first season with the Warriors. Finds an open receiver. It's Broderick once again. That's too much of a cushion. You can't give him that many yards on a simple out pattern.
Broderick has done a nice job on Mabry tonight, who's been the guy who's been asked to cover him for the Mooresville Pioneers. A good job again. Just a 2-3 stretch drop for Slayton. Nice delivery, soft touch, defensive line. Again, they're putting pressure, but the offensive line for Danville's holding up, doing a pretty good job here.
You saw Casey Woods in that white jacket. Slayton does keep it himself. 2nd down and 3. Looks like he gets enough to move the chains once again. Slayton keeps it. First down, Warriors.
Ran right behind 59, as you can see Jackson Douglas there with his hands on his side, 6'2", 25. When you got your hands on your side, that means you're gasping for air. They've got to find a way to get that energy back in the ball game. There's still plenty of time left to go.
Danville is not in a hurry, nor should they be. Just need to make some error-free plays, not lose yardage. Slayton looking towards a wide open Tyler Dawson, the freshman, making a move. He is brought down by Gavin Evans, but still picks up 4. He'll take that on first down.
Yeah, he'll take it all day long because the Mooresville defenders are playing very soft in the corner. There's a little screen. He couldn't pick it up on the initial throw, but did a good job of pulling it in. Evans late to close. That's a good first down play for the Warriors as they are in the red zone.
You could look at it that he was a shoestring tackle away from scoring, but you could also look at it the way he was bobbling it. It could have gone the other way. So it ends up officially a 3-yard gain. 2nd down and 7 from the 19. They'll hand that one to number 5, Alex Skinner. Not much doing at that point. Nice tackle by number 13. Someone we have called his name a time or two, Braden Evans, mostly on offense, doing it on defense as well.
There's another good job of blocking up front by Caleb Marr, and what he did was he disengaged with the defender. Otherwise, he would have been called for holding. He did a good job of turning the defensive lineman inside and then letting the runner find that gap and get some positive yardage there.
Time for big players to step up. 5 minutes, 40 seconds left, 10 on the play clock. Slayton calling out the signal. Skinner goes to his left. What's Slayton going to do? Looks towards one of his favorite targets. He was intending for Jones, but number 32, Camden Schmidt, read it all the way, dropped back into coverage, very nearly picked it off.
That's a tough play, and Schmidt backed off the line of scrimmage, so it kind of fooled this young man here as he goes right down the middle. There it is. Tipped
he was
it.
double covered anyways. It would have been a very difficult pass to complete. Not a high percentage play. You got to have one, though, right now. 4th down and 5. 4th downs have been good to Danville in this game. Remember, they had a big 4th down touchdown early on. It was 4th and 7 from the 9. This time it's 4th and 5 from the 17.
Wow.
But it is such a big play. You don't want to take those timeouts with you at the end of the game, so you're going to decide to use it if you're Mooresville on defense choosing to use it. Didn't work before. We've seen them do that already in this game, and then Danville went and scored. But you really want to, if you're Mike Gillen, you want to have your best defensive look right now.
Yeah, I'll take that right now. And the thing that concerns the defense is how they've spread the field. And Slayton's not at, he's in a position where he's found 3 or 4 different receivers, so you can't really specifically pick one out. But what you got to do is you got to be concerned about a matchup. So when you call timeout, now you got to match up guys, especially Jones. Connor Jones really creates problems because of his size. But Broderick has also done a really good job as well for the Danville Warriors. So we'll see how they match up here in terms of trying to take Connor Jones out of the play.
Ben Slayton already with 4 touchdown passes in the game. Can he make it 5? 5 minutes, 31 seconds to play. Danville trailing by 2. Slayton takes the shotgun snap, looks towards the end zone. Pass is going to be batted down by number 13, turned into our player of the game, Braden Evans, in coverage. The pass was intended for Zane Thomas. It looked like it was just a little bit behind him. Would have had to been a perfect throw.
It would have been, and really, if he's going to make the catch, he's got to go down to the ground to make the catch because the ball tailed, as you saw, his ball tailed down around his knees.
Throw it a little earlier.
Yeah. Great defensive stand for Mooresville. Again, the timeout pays off. Again,
the timeout does pay off.
Matchups help out for the Mooresville Pioneers. And again, you'd think that they try to run the football, so Danville's going to have to pinch the line of scrimmage, but again, be concerned about Goodman's play action ability.
4th and 5 is my only thing. Maybe you going for the end zone is not exactly necessary. Regardless, Mooresville takes over, and Mabry Jr. picks up big yardage on 1st down. Mooresville almost into Danville territory with 5 minutes to play and a 2-point lead.
Wow, that is an amazing run because Danville had set up defensively to try to stop the run. They had 7 guys in the box.
Awesome.
Just
Great
good
blocking.
Yep. Nice blocking on the left side there.
And initially at the point of contact, Blake Garrett came in and really made that hole open quickly for Mabry Jr. James Mabry Jr. I really like the different weapons, the versatility that Mooresville has. The quarterback in Goodman, you've got Mabry, but you've also got Heineman, you got Braden Evans, you've got a play caller like Mike Gillen who's in his 40th year. There's a lot to like if you're Mooresville, and right now you just want to see this clock continue to run.
And when you're Mabry running the football, you have to protect it. And that time he did a pretty good job of keeping both hands around the football because at this stage of the game, under 5 minutes to play, as you take a look at the clock looking, you have to figure that the Danville defenders are going to start stripping at the football.
Yeah, still a long way to go. 4 minutes, all 3 timeouts remaining for Danville. So they get the ball back. They are a quick strike offense. They've got a talented quarterback as well. They've just got to stop this drive because if Mooresville gets it in the end zone and makes the extra point, it's a 9-point game.
Good solid run again off the left side. And there's enough time for them even to consider this as a 2-down situation. It'll be 3rd and short. Boy, it's really short. I'm surprised, Jeremiah, that they're not measuring this football. It's really close.
3rd and 2. You got to give credit as well to Carson Goodman. He's the quarterback. He's not running as much as maybe his counterpart, but he is running to the sideline after every play to get the play call from his coaching staff, and then he runs back. Right now he's under center with Mabry Jr. in the backfield. You would think they would keep it on the ground here on 3rd and 2, and they do. Can Mabry find 1st down yardage? Yes, she can.
There's a flag.
But a costly yellow flag comes in. Really away from the play. Referee Scott Foster throws the flag, and all of a sudden this game changes quite a bit.
Yeah, that penalty flag really changes the next play call. as clearly there was a hold in the interior of the line of scrimmage. But on that play, Blake Garrett, by the way, did a really good job getting into the secondary and making a block for Mooresville, and Mabry just fouled him, but it's going to go back. And I still think that if Mooresville wishes to, they could still run the football and then punt. They've had a pretty good job punting the football tonight.
Mike Gillen talking to quarterback Carson Goodman. Once again, he told us if Goodman stays healthy, he'll be the school's all-time leading passer. I think that's as much of a credit to Goodman, but what Mike Gillen does and the innovative offense that he runs, he just brings offense to a team. He's done it at Tri-West. He's done it at Indian Creek. Started his career at Decatur Central as well. Right now, though, 3rd and 12. He needs a big one. Quarterback Goodman rolls to his left, looking for target number 6, Kyler Evans, and it's incomplete.
Wow, good defensive play on the corner there by number 14. That's Thomas. Ran the receiver out of bounds, and he dropped it, so it'll be 4th down. And you figure with the youngster in the backfield, number 45, and that's Brecken Green, that they're going to throw the football. They're not going to run, and good job of defending that play by the Warriors.
All right, so Danville, that's all you can ask for. A little over 3 minutes to play. You're down by 2. You've got all your timeouts on your home field, trying to make up for what happened really in the same situation a week ago. Last week they led Cascade by 1 with 1:30 to play. Cascade marched down the field and scored. Now they're going to take over down by 2, more than 1:30. So trying to make up for last night. The kickoff to Broderick. He's going to be brought down right about the 20-yard line. But we've seen long drives already from Danville in this game. They had a 90-yard drive earlier. This will just need to be 80.
Good coverage by Mooresville. Number 1, Dane Stevenson, was the first guy to come get him, along with Dominic Oldham, number 9. And as you mentioned, a long field, but this ball club, Danville, has done a very good job of moving the football inside the 50 here.
On tonight, the Danville Warriors honored Terry Allen Hoffman. He was a member of the 1962 undefeated team at Danville, class of 1963. Died in Vietnam in 1968. Members of his family are here. They're watching. Great service on the field before tonight's game, and now Danville tries to rally and get this win against Mooresville. Week 2 of high school football. Great game, Mike.
Yeah, it is a fantastic game. Both teams are set up for a final run here, and let's see how this young Danville team can respond.
Slayton throws very nearly intercepted.
Mabry could not hold on to that football. It was down at his knees, maybe a little bit higher. It would have been a pick, and he would have been on his feet. It would have been pick 6.
All they needed was the ball back at that point. And Broderick looked like he didn't think the ball was coming his way, almost surprised. I think Danville will just be glad that fell incomplete. Quarterback Ben Slayton, 6'2", 210. The running back he's got on the field right now is number 5, the senior Alex Skinner. He's going to be in to block. Enough time for Slayton to throw. The pass is caught by Zane Thomas.
Great job by Thomas, because defensively, Mooresville was set up to protect against the pass. They were only rushing 4 guys, and the offensive line held up. There was some pressure on the right side, but the offensive line did a very good job. One of them was number 53 for the Danville Warriors, Steve Thomas.
Zane Thomas had a touchdown last week against Cascade, and you can just tell in that situation when he looks Thomas's way, and on the previous possession on 4th down and threw to Thomas, that Slayton is comfortable, that he knows where Zane Thomas will be. It doesn't mean it's always going to be complete, but you can tell some synergy right there. 1st down, kept it on the ground. Alex Skinner, we've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. Clock is running, but really still with 3 timeouts. No need to hurry if you're Danville.
To Mooresville's credit, they're still running hard to the football with this 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. The concern might be is sometimes the linebackers really over aggressively go after the football. They may want to throw the football right in the middle of the field where those guys vacate the space.
In the middle of the field, deep, is safety Gavin Evans, number 14. He's the last line of defense for Mooresville. Good pressure.
Oh, boy.
And we've got a penalty flag.
Yes, Diop interfered with Connor Jones, unfortunately.
And unnecessary.
Yes, it was. And I think he was a little bit out of control running downfield. Maybe some inadvertent contact that ended up Diop holding on to the face mask there. Here's the throw.
Dom Oldham provided the pressure, made that a pass that could not be caught, and I mean, I guess you could make a case that Connor Jones could have caught that if not interfered with, but regardless, it was very likely going to be 3rd and 10, and now it's going to be 1st down near midfield.
Yep.
I mean, this is just these penalties. Turnovers haven't been a big issue tonight, but penalties have been costly, really, for both teams.
And that is a big penalty there for the Mooresville Pioneers, as Dom Oldham, number 9, again put lots of pressure on Slayton there throwing the football. They're coming off the right side. They're adding an extra defender there off a 4-man rush, sending 5. And the Danville offensive linemen, it's their game to win right now. They've got to come up with some big plays to protect their quarterback.
What can you do if you're Mooresville to pressure the quarterback? You sit back, I feel like you're just going to give up yards in chunks, and then all of a sudden Danville's going to be down there. Can you force the issue?
I think you can. I think one of the linebackers has to rush the quarterback, put some heat on him.
Plenty of time. Pass is complete to Zane Thomas. We mentioned that synergy, that connection. Slayton to Thomas. It's a 1st down Danville. 2 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock.
But I want to mention the fact you put pressure from the linebackers. Again, that space down the middle is vacated, and that's where they threw the football. It forces a free safety to come up and make the play.
Danville trails by 2. The clock is running. They still, though, got all 3 of their timeouts left. And they do not need to be in a hurry. Smart for Slayton to look towards the sidelines, figure out what is the proper play. Mooresville on their feet just a little bit. This game will be decided in the final minutes as we projected. Not sure that's the play you want on 1st down, but Alex Skinner picks up about 4.
Yeah, he got some positive yardage. Now, the interesting thing is, do you leave time on the clock? They may not be able to do that. On the other hand, if they score quick, might give Mooresville some time to come down and
yeah, it's the old video game theory. That when you're playing video games, you think, oh, let them score and then we'll get the ball back. I think if you're Mooresville, your coach Mike Gillen, you've been doing this for 40 years, your only concern is playing defense. If they want to run some clock, let them run some clock. They're still at the 34-yard line, so they're not just a play away. You got to play good, sound defense. This could be one of these games. Mooresville is a high-powered offensive team, but you could say you could win it with your defense right now.
You can, and we talked about surprises in the pregame. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll be a surprise where Mooresville would be forced to set up a field goal on the last play of the game to
for
win
Danville.
Yeah, or Norton and Danville, yeah. So you never know. Anything can happen. And that's what makes it so exciting as we go down the stretch.
Interesting on the sidelines, you're seeing long snapper number 62, Isaiah Hayes, holder number 50, Nate Pickle. They're at least working on that. I don't see a kicker going through the motions. I don't think Casey Woods wants it to come down to that.
They don't even have a practice net on the sideline over here. So.
All right, 2nd down and 8 from the 34. Timeout was called by Danville, so both teams have 2 timeouts remaining, and it's that minute 33 on the clock. Was a bit of a bad number for Danville last week. Can it come in handy for them now? The pass is dropped. Almost looked like Tyler Dawson, the freshman, already with a touchdown in the game. Looked like he was trying to run before he hauled it in.
He had 6 right there. At least that or 1st down.
Could not have thrown it much better.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're Ben Slayton, you just got to shake that off and know you're throwing to a freshman. By the end of the year, he'll be more like a sophomore. And in fact, I'm really impressed with the job he's done as a freshman. But 3rd down and 8, you're still well within range of getting into the end zone. Minute 29 to play.
And Mooresville has to find a way to put pressure on Slayton. He's just sitting back there and picking him apart.
Slayton, all kinds of time, throws. Ooh, a little bit of an ill-advised. Dawson thought he was interfered with, maybe held, but no penalty flags on the field. So with a minute 25 on the clock, it is 4th down and 8.
Augie Newkirk with the coverage downfield and nearly the pick. But again, Ben is allowed to sit back in the pocket. Look at him. He's got plenty of time to survey the field, but he was locked on the receiver. He seems to be locked on his freshman target the last 4 or 5 tosses.
All right, well, it's 4th down and 8. This play could be the ball game. If they don't convert, they do have 2 timeouts left, but it will be very difficult to then get the ball back and march down the field. 1 on the play clock, and they do need to use their 2nd timeout. So I would say with only 1 timeout remaining, this could be the ball game.
It could be the ball game. And one thing we've noted throughout the course of the game is the fact that Slayton has basically set up in the pocket and thrown the football. He's not tried to scramble or run with the football as of yet. The question is, will they pull the trigger here and run him out of the pocket and have him run downfield for that first down?
Well, didn't we see it earlier in the game when he connected with Connor Jones, where he rolled to his left a little bit and threw back right? Maybe we see something like that again.
You never know. And so that's a big concern for Mooresville, but I think for the Pioneers, you can't let Slayton reach that spot in the pocket. You've got to go after and pressure him. And outside that four-man rush, maybe you bring a corner or maybe an outside linebacker.
Mooresville knows they get a stop. They could be well on their way to a 2-0 start after starting 0-8 a season ago. 1:25 on the clock. We're about ready to return to action as quarterback Ben Slayton, already with 4 touchdown passes. He's only worried about 8 yards and a first down here. Slayton throws towards favorite target Zane Thomas. It falls incomplete, and the Pioneers will take over.
Evans again, the DB, did a great job of getting in that passing lane. He got the tip on the corner. Let's take a look at Slayton with a 3-step drop, and it was a left hand of number 13 Evans who knocked it out of bounds. Great play.
I think we've got a player of the game candidate in Braden Evans, as if he didn't do enough with his offense in the third quarter after you're seeing some outstanding defense on a couple of fourth down plays. Even some coverage as well on a 2-point conversion that really became the difference in the game. So Mooresville takes over, 1:20 on the clock. 1 timeout remaining for the Warriors. So if you're Mooresville, I don't know that you're going to go with a victory formation, although you might do that and then just see whether the clock will wind down. Danville decides to not use its timeout on the first down play.
I asked Casey Woods what his thoughts were about changes from game 1 to game 2. Is it true that your team will make its most improvement? And he did agree, and frankly, I think they have. They've made some great steps. It doesn't matter whether they win or lose. It's how they play the game. Did they get better? They did. They got better. They are going to be a team that will continue to get better, and they'll win their fair share. There's no doubt about it.
We rattled off some of the guys they're replacing from last season. Quarterback Toby Highland, tight end Alec Burton, who's at Ohio. You had Zach Lucan and Ben Stevens also on offense. On defense, you had Dylan Blant. So these are some of the best players in school history you're trying to replace. The clock is winding down. It doesn't even look like Danville's going to use its final timeout. We might have seen the final play of the game.
A big victory for the Pioneers on the road. They've done it again 2 weeks in a row, and this guy, Mike Gillen, has to be really thrilled deep down inside about this victory. He's not going to show it externally, but certainly internally, he's feeling really good about himself.
Mike Gillen and the Mooresville Pioneers come into Danville and upset the Warriors 28-26. What a way to start the season for Mooresville. A win at Lebanon, and then another win at another Mid-State Conference opponent, Mooresville, of course, or Danville, I should say. Of course, Mooresville, they're in the Mid-State Conference. Sagamore Conference opponent. Got my conferences all mixed up. Regardless, it's one they're going to celebrate.
Huge win. Huge victory for the Pioneers. And both ball clubs did a great job tonight.
We'll be back with a post-game show right after this. Once again, the Mooresville Pioneers defeat the Danville Warriors 28-26.
Not getting their messages? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with eWireless. Endeavor Communications combines the nation's largest 4G LTE network with friendly hometown service, so you'll always be connected to your kids. We also provide internet, television, security, and telephone services with outstanding local support. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
Food, shelter, fast Wi-Fi. It's all we really need. Good thing Endeavor has the fast, reliable internet it takes to power all the Wi-Fi hungry gadgets in your home. All at once. With speeds up to 10 gig, get smooth HD streaming video, gaming, music, and surfing, all with no waiting, no buffering, no kidding. Call or click weendeavor.com and upgrade to Indiana's fastest internet today.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
The celebration underway on the visitor sidelines as the Mooresville Pioneers improved to 2-0, defeating the Danville Warriors 28-26. Remember last season, Mooresville fans, in that game at Lucas Oil Stadium? Danville with a dominant win in that game, but what a difference a year makes, Mike.
It does make a difference, and Mike Gillen has the ship headed in the right direction, and frankly, so does Casey Woods. These kids lose the football game, and they'll hurt after this one, but they've learned a lot, they've improved a lot, they have a lot to look forward to, a few adjustments here and there, they'll be back in the chase.
59-17 was the score in Week 2 of 2017. Tonight, the tables are turned as the Mooresville Pioneers win it 28-26. Tonight's post-game wrap-up is brought to you by Endeavor E-Techs. From simple home printer setup to PC diagnostics and large-scale network development, Endeavor E-Techs can help with all your computer needs. Visit WeEndeavor.com to learn more. Mike, we have a lot to talk about. And, there were so many different storylines heading into this game, and we said a surprise in Week 1, the outcome of both of these teams' games. And I said at the end of the game, maybe it was an upset for Mooresville. I think maybe I need to back off of that just a little bit. These are two pretty evenly matched teams, a very well-played game, and it required some individual performances. It required someone to step up and make a huge play, and our play of the game is someone we'll be talking about throughout this post-game show. It comes on defense for the Mooresville Pioneers. The play of the game brought to you by the NCAA Hall of Champions. It comes to you on a 4th down play when Mooresville's defense needed one more stop.
And you needed one more play, and that's all you ask for. Here's Slayton going back to pass. He's looking at the receiver, and Braden Evans with that left hand knocks that out of bounds as Thomas was open at the 15-yard line. A completion. He makes a reception. First down, Danville. They have an open gate for a victory.
Evans was upset he didn't intercept it. I think he should have been pleased because that pretty much won the game with only one timeout. Danville could not stop the clock anymore. For Mooresville, that play of the game, once again brought to you by the NCAA Hall of Champions, located in beautiful White River State Park in downtown Indianapolis. Experience all 24 NCAA sports at the NCAA Hall of Champions with its 2 floors of interactive exhibits. You can shoot some hoops, kick a field goal, test your vertical jump, and more. Visit NCAAchampions.org. Continuing on the Endeavor E-Techs post-game wrap-up. So you saw Braden Evans make a play defensively. He's also our player of the game. He did it all, and it started in that third quarter. We talked so much about John Eineman and quarterback Carson Goodman, but it started with Evans in that third quarter with a play on the ground on a play that, you think maybe it's a 2-yard gain, maybe a 2-yard loss, and then all of a sudden he's gone for 60.
Yep, they had him contained in the backfield, but unfortunately there was a breakdown defensively on the left side of the Danville defense, and Evans turned it the other way. He went down the right sideline, and like a track sprinter, he ran right in the end zone untouched for a huge touchdown. That was a big play of the game and a lot of momentum for Mooresville.
The player of the game is brought to you by Greg Hubler Chevrolet. At Greg Hubler Chevy, every new vehicle purchase comes with our exclusive Greg Hubler promise. That means 3 years or 45,000 miles of scheduled maintenance, complimentary service pickup and drop off, and a free car wash and vacuum with every visit. Visit GregHublerChevy.com for more information. Once again, congratulations to Braden Evans, an outstanding all-around game, helping Mooresville improve to 2-0. Mike Gillen, I don't know that we should be surprised at what he's done. He's now won 310 high school football games. He's in his 40th year, but when you saw the way things started last year for Mooresville, they lost their first 8 games. In those first 8 games, they were giving up an average of 53.4 points per game. So the offense got going at the end of the year. They won 3 games, but it's the defense that got a little confidence as well, and you could say they won tonight's game defensively.
They did. They played extremely well, and one of the things that I was impressed by Mooresville was their defensive line. Even in the fourth period, they gave up some plays, but their defensive line kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and they will only get better.
Mooresville, someone you can keep an eye on, as Mike mentioned, in Class 4A Sectional 22, and don't discount Danville either, Class 3A Sectional 30. The Danville Warriors and Casey Woods, I have a feeling will be gelling come mid-October. Well, Mike, I had a great time working with you tonight.
Enjoyed it.
Mike Walensky and Jeremiah Johnson. Once again, this has been an MTC Sports production. Thanks, as always, to our outstanding MTC Sports production crew. Great to see the crew once again on the ISC Sports Network. Thanks as well to Endeavor Communications for all of their work in bringing high school football to Central Indiana. Don't forget to download that app as well, the ISC Sports Network app, for all your high school football coverage, even college coverage as we move on into Saturdays in the fall. As we sign off, would like to remind you tonight's broadcast was brought to you by the NCAA Hall of Champions, located in beautiful White River State Park, downtown Indianapolis. Experience all 24 NCAA sports at the Hall of Champions with its 2 floors of interactive exhibits. You can shoot hoops, kick a field goal, test your vertical jump, and more. NCAAchampions.org. And by Greg Hubler Chevrolet. At Greg Hubler Chevy, every new vehicle purchase comes with our exclusive Greg Hubler promise. Visit GregHublerChevy.com for more information. Thanks so much for watching. If you're watching it live or perhaps on a replay, and be sure to tune in and check local listings for where the MTC Sports and the ISC Sports Network crew will be next Friday night during Week 3 of high school football. Have a great weekend, everyone.